So,
Yep.
let's get started then. So, during our last long rest, we found our new group of adventurers beginning their plan to siege the Grim Keep, although siege seems like a bit of an over-exaggeration. Grim Keep was the place of interest that was pointed out to them by the guild leader Gul'Mak, that supposedly kept a lot of the goblins and whoever else might be in charge of the attacks that have been happening in Crestfall recently. So we started off our session with our adventurers setting up a plan to infiltrate the keep, find whoever is in charge, and dispatch of them very quickly, in the best and quickest way possible. So, at the lead of Ambrose and Pierce, they set up a quite an ingenious plan, using disguised self to appear as someone from the Cult of the Sacred Flame, using Pierce as a prisoner that they found on the outskirts of the Grim Keep. They walked up to the front gate, and through Eldrith's magic of comprehend languages, I believe, they were able to communicate in gobbledygook with the hobgoblins guarding the keep. Upon infiltrating the keep and investigating the inside and relaying some information to the people waiting outside, they began having a conversation with the leader of the goblins, which was a bugbear by the name of Gul'Mak, who was supposedly the leader of the organization, but not the leader of the entire Sacred Flame cult. They were just being used as pieces on chessboard to get something that they needed. More specifically, some sort of idol that represents one of the Forgotten Ones, Solon. Now, whilst they were having this conversation and distracting the goblins from the inside of the keep, with this kept-up act and appearance, Hjarlgron, the giant Goliath, went around the back of the castle and managed to somehow both convince and agitate the ogre that was bound there to fight for his own sake, to break from his shackles that the goblins were keeping him with, and turn against these creatures. With a very successful both persuasion and I think it was intimidation check, he was very successful at being able to turn the ogre in the favor of our group and use him as a weapon to be able to start tearing down the walls of the keep. Amongst all of this mess, initiative rolled and a combat ensued. The combat went really well, considering half of the party was still outside and had to catch up with everyone else. And Gul'Mak fell very quickly to the hands of Hjarlgron. Now, after majority of the combat was almost over, the keep was met with one last surprise. A large glint of fire and a flash filled the courtyard, followed by a ginormous bang and fire that began to rampage the courtyard. After the explosion, a person appeared in the middle of it with 3 other goblins. The party discovered that this is how they must be teleporting them in and out of the city. At the center of it was a woman, but not that the party knows. Oh no, you do know the name. Sorry, a woman by the name of Thera, wearing white robes with golden trimmings and red accents, aligning with the Sacred Flame icon, which is 2 hands holding an ember. She was a woman of few words. She wandered into the destroyed keep, gathered up one of the idols that they've been looking for, and began her exit, almost as if the people around her didn't even seem to exist in her eyes. Some of the party members weren't too keen on this, and Hjarlgron was very quick to try and deal with her as a threat. However, it seems that after hitting her once, he realized that perhaps this threat is far more powerful than he might have imagined. This woman has an immense control over fire magic, burnt Hjarlgron to a crisp, knocking him unconscious for the first time, and then also proceeded to exit with a bang, leaving a small glint of fire that burst into another explosion, almost destroying Doi completely, bringing Celwydd to her knees and knocking out. Who was the other person that was involved in that explosion? Eldrith. So after being almost destroyed and scorched by Thera as she made her exit with the idol in hand, she seemed that she didn't even care about who these people were. They were so beneath her that there was no importance to her sticking around to finishing them off. The most important aspect was gathering this idol and returning. So leaving the battlefield in flames, Celwydd and Syldia were able to recuperate their fallen party members, bring them back up and stabilizing. For the next half an hour, Hjarlgron spent it gathering the bodies and piling them up into a fire, as well as skinning some of the wargs that were there. The rest of the party investigated the keep and found a couple of different things that they pocketed, but most importantly a letter. A letter that spoke from someone called R.D. and mentioned that the Sacred Flame... Well, basically the party found out that the Sacred Flame was at the head of all of these attacks, controlling the goblins as chess pieces, and that they are gathering these idols before the Day of Glint, which, thanks to Syldia's knowledge and a couple of others, were able to figure out that the Day of Glint is a term used a long time ago by people from this continent of Seamin to describe the day where the Azure Comet finally comes back around from the moon, and its light glows on Equin once again. So, after exploring the keep and finding a secret exit that left the keep somewhere, our party members gathered together, and I believe are now preparing to go into the secret tunnel that leads somewhere, or heading back home. I'm not too sure. So, that is where we're going to pick up. We'll pick up a couple of moments prior, where all of you found out about the kind of tunnel and are getting ready to be able to go down into it. So we'll pick up from there. So let's take us to Hjarlgron Keep.
To the keep.
To the keep.
Someone say keep.
I guess you could say it's a real keeper.
So, in Hjarlgron Keep, just to double check to make sure that no one forgets to do anything that they wanted to do.
Run.
After burning your bodies and the flames turning green after you give the sacrifices, and
Yeah, just walk away.
yeah, and you carving,
Try to follow these along.
and you carving the warg perfectly fine. The time passes. You guys explored the keep. The Eldrith, I believe, found the latch that led downwards. I can't remember who it was. I think it was actually a combined effort.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
it was a combined effort.
So with the combined effort of exploring the keep, is there anything that you guys would like to do from now?
I found the painting, didn't I?
Yes, you found the painting, and you looked at the back of it, saw that it was painted by an artist by the name of Thomas. The portrait is reasonably sized. A burden for you to if you wanted to carry it back, it would be a burden for you to carry, but it's not pocketable, shall we say?
Yeah, it's not pocket sized. So, with Hjarlgron's carving concluded,
yep,
I'm going to just kind of wave him over, like the come here hand motion.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing behind it, right? Outside of the name of the painter, Thomas, right?
Correct.
Hjarlgron. Is it possible for you to maybe aid me in opening this? I just want to see if there's anything on the other side of this frame. Maybe a letter stashed away at the back of this painting.
I suppose. Then you have to guide me as in what you want me to do, brother.
Yeah. So, you know how like at the back of frames, there's always like a little ring or a latch that can kind of help you pry it open, and then you can slip a painting or a picture into it.
Okay.
I'm guessing since this is a sizable family portrait, I don't think Eldrith can do it alone. So,
Give it a try, I suppose.
Sure, you look at the back of the design of the portrait. On each of the four corners, there is just a little hook latch style thing that you can move to the side, and then the back of the portrait lifts open.
I'll just point to them for Eldrith because I feel like my fingers are a bit too big for this.
Yeah, your sausage fingers are a bit too,
Too delicate.
extreme for the size of this painting. Eldrith, you try one of the latches, and it's a bit rusty, but nothing a bit of force won't solve. I won't require a check, it's easy enough, just a bit of effort. You pull the four latches and you lift the back panel of the portrait open. It's just the painting. There's nothing stashed away inside of here, just a standard family painting with the signature of Thomas at the bottom. However, you could now, instead of taking the full portrait, scroll this painting up and stash it into your bag by rolling it up if you wanted to take it with you.
I'll do exactly that.
Woo.
Okay. You roll up the painting and put it into your backpack.
So let's note that down. Just have it. Thank you.
Okay. So, anything else that you guys would like to do at this keep before, I suppose, going down the secret tunnel? Secret tunnel.
I have nothing, so I'm good.
Yeah, can't think of anything.
Very well. Then you go to the kitchen wing of the Hjarlgron keep. Go into the storage room, move the barrels, and the latch that you guys left open is there. There's some wooden ladders that lead down into the darkened tunnel. There doesn't seem to be light emanating from the tunnel, so you will have to make one.
Okay.
Do I have dark vision?
Unless you don't want to see, obviously.
Actually, DM,
Oh no.
I don't have anything that can create light. But that's, I don't need it.
Is anyone lighting any lanterns or lights or...
Well, if no one's lighting lanterns, I'll
I have a bunch of candles. That's about it, I think.
That's also possible, but I can save you those wax candles if they are made of wax by casting fairy lights.
Oh, that could work. That could work
Oh, yeah,
better.
so you have the...
Yeah.
You have dancing lights on you, that you can keep
Yeah.
active. I forgot.
That I can. I will try dancing lights, not fairy lights. Fairy lights hurts, doesn't it?
Fairy lights, cute.
Fairy fire. It reveals
Fairy fire,
Fire
there you go.
reveals invisible, yeah.
I just took 2 spells, smashed them together, and made them my own. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Eldrith with his open astral lobe, these kind of what looks like little star fragments from the astral lobe's constellations kind of gently lift into the air and illuminate the room, and they seem to follow him. And I believe you don't even have to worry about recasting it. I believe they just stay permanently, don't you? For you? Because of your subclass?
For him? What?
Yes, it does.
He's crazy with it.
Alright, then you do not need to recast that. And you can just keep them permanently. And I believe yours are a bigger radius and emit more light, I believe.
I think that's at a higher level. At 10th level, the light emitted from the dancing cantrip is also... Oh, no, it is. Yeah, 20 feet radius of bright light at level 2.
Yeah, there you go. So, these bright lights emit more light than usual, and they can sustain themselves. So, with the paths illuminated, as Eldrith almost, I suppose, lineates the constellations down the tunnel, the path illuminates forward. And you guys begin watching. As one by one, you all go down the tunnel. Eventually, it gets to your Hjarlgron. And for the entirety of this purpose, you will be squeezing.
Look at that.
Oh.
Oh.
As everyone else begins walking through these tunnels at not exactly like super spacious tunnels, but comfortable. You know, you don't have to duck or crouch or anything like that, whereas Hjarlgron has to slouch and crouch at the same time to be able to keep moving through this tunnel with everyone else.
He's the cork in the wine bottle.
I really am.
Alright. The tunnel, darkened with no torchlights or even sconces for there to even be torches at any given point in time. This seems to be a tunnel that was carved purely for purpose, nothing else. Following the tunnel takes you roughly 20 minutes. To the 10-point mark, you guys think that you've been walking for a long time in a winding tunnel. And you carry on pushing for another 10, and eventually in the distance, you can begin to see the grey light from the end of a tunnel begin to appear.
Does this tunnel look like it's been here for like a very, very long time? Or like at least a year, or like at least 20 years? If you like the general, very, very general age, does this seem somewhat new or old?
From just glancing, if you don't want to do a check, if you just want to glance, to general sight, it seems pretty old. There's nothing that would suggest it's new.
Yeah, okay.
Piers, you mentioned, are there any markings on the walls? As you guys have been going with the lights, helping you illuminate this entire tunnel very easily, there aren't any markings on either side of the walls, just poorly carved out stone and rock. What you do actually notice towards the end of a tunnel is a teddy, a bunny that's been stitched together. It's got one eye, which is a button. The other eye must have gone missing, and it's dirtied and muddied. The colour of the rabbit is supposed to be brown fur with a white patch of fur at the stomach.
Doi, seeing this, is gonna look around for blood.
Right, roll me investigation, please. Since you have bright light from dancing lights, it won't be a disadvantage.
Thank
I'm
you.
leaving you. You got this, big boy.
Nice, 22.
Sure.
Oh, look at this guy. He's fucking cracked.
He's
Uh,
determined.
looking around, you don't spot any blood around, which is a good sign. All you do notice is quite an odd, thing that's been left behind. In the corner, probably either pushed up by tunnel wind or just over the course of years. Wrapped by some sort of string is a bundle of blonde hair. So a lock of blonde hair. And it seems to be a hefty amount of it.
I'll pick it up and bring it and hand it to Eldrith and continue my inspection of the blood, making sure that person was okay.
The cute robot just brings me a lock of hair. Terrifying.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi, here.
Ah, hello.
I'm
Syldia.
done.
What's up, bro?
I'm still setting up my PC, so give me a bit.
No
fair,
worries.
fair.
So yeah, Eldrith, you get handed this lock of... It was hard to tell at first, but once you scrape a bit of the dirt off, very elegant, blonde, almost gold-like hair.
It's tied to a string, or is it
Yes,
just
tied by a string to keep the bundle of hair together.
Huh, okay. I'm just gonna look at Doi and look at the hair. What's he up to now? He's still investigating?
Yeah, he's still looking at the ground.
Just gonna look at him, look at this. Oh. Look at everyone else. Celwydd?
Is that hair?
You think it is?
Yes.
Is it easy to tell that it's hair? Like it's
Yes.
it's obviously.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be very difficult. I mean, maybe at first you would think maybe like straw, but then once you touch it, you realize it's hair.
Maybe it was a keepsake.
What?
You know, people keep keepsakes of their children's hair, and there is a toy here.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, parents do that, right? I look around at everyone else.
So so do hags.
I know, I
Yeah.
certainly didn't.
Mothers
he's,
can be
he's,
crazy in those ways.
he's just there. Everyone's giving their like 2 cents. He looks at Hjarlgron.
I'm
What
like
about you?
trying to move forward, but you're all stood still. Please move forward.
This man is literally like Mr. Incredible when he's trying to fit into his car. Like, it's just like
Perhaps we can take these outside, and inspecting them in the light might reveal more.
That is a good idea. I was just a bit perplexed, is all. Bundle of hair is hardly the first thing I expect to find here. Well,
Me neither.
he's gonna just dust it off is, a light term, but he's gonna clean it off as best as he can and then like shmuff it into his bag real quick.
I
Did
didn't
anyone
write
pick up
down.
the bunny?
Say again, sorry, Celwydd?
Did anybody pick up the bunny or whatever it was? A bunny, right?
It was a
Yeah.
bunny, yeah. I don't know if anyone picked it
Yeah.
up. No, I'm not sure.
If nobody's got it, I'll pick it up.
Sure. Then you may add a bunny toy rabbit.
Does anyone write down the name of the children's hair from the photo, or the color of the children's hair? Or I guess he still has.
It was
the
blonde, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
we still
The-
got the.
the
It was
kid
a
in the photo
blonde
was blonde,
child,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a
With
blonde
blue
child.
eyes.
Oh shit!
Yep.
The hag took the child, made them a hag.
I mean, or this is. Yeah.
Very well. As you guys proceed for a bit longer, as I mentioned, you guys found these items almost at the end of the tunnel. You can see bits of the grey kind of going into nighttime light off in the distance. So you exit the tunnel. Hjarlgron, you have a nice big stretch. Your backbones feel like they crack
You just
slightly.
hear just so much like. Oh.
You look above you, you take in the fresh air. You guys are somewhere in the forest. There's no kind of points of interest or statues or signs to keep in mind where you guys might be. You're just somewhere in the Creptwood forest,
In the
most
forest.
likely. Probably used as a back exit or something along those lines. There's some grey clouds beginning now to come overhead as it is slowly reaching bitter winter. It's too early for snow, but the rain clouds are indeed beginning to turmoil over you. You also notice that it's beginning to get dark.
Are we happy to travel through the night, or would we like to rest?
How far away is?
Let's not stay here.
No, that's the world map. The one that.
Wait, I can solve this for you, right? I
Oh,
did
dang
this
it, dang it.
overnight.
There it is, the grid, baby. Woo! So we are there. I mean, it's only a day to Millwood, so we might as well travel through the night.
The issue is, can we
Will
find our
be-
way back to Millwood?
We'll be,
Ah,
we'll be
100%.
sleepy.
Oh, hey.
We have the Constellation Warrior. How will we
Exactly.
not make our way back to Millwood? Come on.
Exactly.
I can
and
see
it
the
is a
sky. I'm
place.
assuming I can find it.
Should be able to. It is a place on the map.
Uh,
It should be.
Yeah. It's marked.
It's marked place on the map. If we get there, we should be good. Unless, when we get there and we do go sleep, we get killed by the murderer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we get fucking attacked.
Pretty pessimistic of you guys.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm down go through the night on my 5 HP.
If everyone's confident.
Can I see
But,
the sky,
I don't
Brendan?
Yeah, I'm
you
at full
can-
HP and
You can see the sky, but it's not dark enough yet. It's beginning to go dark, but it's not nighttime quite yet. It just
right.
seems darker than normal because of the clouds.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we can travel, and then I can look at the stars to see if we are going in the right direction.
I mean, it's much safer to hunker down for the night, but I don't really mind.
just not here. We need to move.
Well, we could
don't
find
like
a
it?
beaten path.
Standing near exit of secret tunnel to base is a bad idea.
Not wrong there.
Someone does have a point.
Well, maybe we just find the track and go from there.
We can always reroute later.
Alright. So the plan is to just march through the woods into the night and then keep marching through the night?
Seems so.
I would rather rest. I don't know about everyone else.
I'm on either
Well,
side.
some
I
of
would
us
like
did
rest.
take that damage. Yeah.
We're not in a rush.
We're not really in a rush. And if
Yeah.
another murder happens, it's
This
fresh
is
for us in the
difficult
morning.
RP, but I just like literally like maybe like a 10 minutes walk. Let's just not stand at the entrance of the tunnel.
Yeah. Probably find ourselves a nice little grove or something, a nice little clearing, and have at least a short rest.
At least, sure.
Alright. You guys travel for at least maybe like 20 minutes whenever you eventually feel safe enough that you think you find a good spot away from where you just were. Throughout the 20 minutes of travel, there isn't too much that takes much of an interest. There's rainbirds and hummingbirds and other sorts of creatures that seem to live at the treetops of these large pine forests. But nothing of note for the 20 minutes. Nothing seems to come out and try and ravage you. At the end of the day, you're still pretty much within the shallows of the crept woods, so you're almost safe-ish. Maybe they're the worst, perhaps a pack of wolves. But you travel for 20 minutes. The night veils over you, and the clouds make it difficult a bit to see some of the stars, but between some of the partings you can see it. But yeah, you guys are more than welcome to set up camp for tonight if you so wish to have a long rest.
I don't think we're in a rush, and we did just have a big fight, so I think sleepy.
Yeah, we
I
got.
think
we
we
got
deserve
dosed.
some long rest.
Yeah, we aren't in a rush. That is true, and some of us got nigh on
Absolutely clobbered.
cremated.
Battered.
Yeah.
The
I am
clapping.
charcoaled.
We got thrown into the kiln.
Four of us got charcoaled, quite literally.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Wait, 4 got charcoaled?
Yeah, I got hellish rebuked, and those 3 got fireballed.
Yeah, bro.
This is true.
I like barely lived.
Sucks to
Thank
suck, I
God that you
guess.
did.
Very well. Who's taking watches, if any?
I'm passing out.
I will be taking the last watch.
I'll be taking the first, I suppose.
I will help with the first.
Very well. Okay.
I'll be sleeping.
Eldrith
Yippee.
and Ambrose, you may either choose which person is going to roll perception and do so with advantage, or not perceive at all and ignore perceiving.
Hope for the best. You want to do it?
Ambrose will sit and just sort of sit softly, not playing his violin, but just tuning the strings a little bit. And keep glancing around at the trees. I will help you.
Alright, Eldrith.
Do you want me to roll, or do you want to roll?
Like, I'll help you do it. You roll.
Okay, sure.
I'll help.
Sure, I'll roll.
Believe it.
This I don't trust in my click, but here we go.
Here we go.
21.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Considering I rolled a natural
Yeah.
one,
Oh, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?
What?
over the course of the hours that you're awake, and whatever conversation might ensue, you are fixated on looking up and around and perceiving the things around you, and stars catch your eye every now and again. But you have always been someone who can almost take like a picture in your mind of something. You've always had a very talented memory, Eldrith, and most people wouldn't be able to perceive this. But as you're just engaging in conversation and sitting and making sure that no one dies over this night, you notice that a single what appears to be some sort of brown feathered bird not exactly your forte to know what type of bird this is. Either way, some sort of average-sized bird sat on a branch. Doesn't move. Doesn't fly away. But it just keeps its head slightly tilted so the eyes look towards the camp for the entire 4 hours that you're awake. It does not move. It doesn't like squeak. It just looks at you guys for the 4 hours. Normally, most people wouldn't even heed this in mind. It's just a bird. Maybe it was a different bird, whatever. But every now and again, you looked up. 20 minutes passed. You looked up again. It was still there. Another hour passed. You looked up again. Still there.
So, how far off is it?
It's super close. It's like the pine tree that overlooks your camp, essentially. Just sat on one of the branches looking at you. Well, not specifically you, but the camp.
Fucking blast it.
Oh my god. I'm not gonna blast it yet, Ryan.
Blast him, Gauntlet.
It could be, you know.
Could be what,
It
huh?
could belong to someone entirely harmless.
Well, I don't know, man. I'm not taking the chance. Blast it now.
So
As we're
Ambrose
sort
is
of
fixing up his
sipping-
strings.
Well, I assume over like the hour or 2 hours or so that have gone by, he's finished fixing up the strings and instead resorted to just sort of talking at you about the instrument. So he's just like, well, so the difference really is that a violin is obviously a little bit higher pitched than a viola, and the strings are basically rooted in a G string as opposed to the C string of the viola. So it creates this much more melancholic sound, you see. It's not like humming away like with it.
I'm aware. What? I'm aware enough. Why are you suddenly playing? Ambrose, no. In points at the burb.
Joy looks at the
What?
bird.
What are we looking at?
Do you not see the bird?
This is a bird.
There's just been that bird. It's just been staring at us.
Sort of looks up at the bird. Huh. That is peculiar. Maybe throw a rock at it. See what happens.
Seeing and hearing them talk about the bird, I'm going to look up and see the bird. I'm going to place a berry in my hand, hold it up to the bird, and cast Animal Friendship.
Let's fucking go.
What did that do?
Let's
Anything
watch
for the
this.
wording info me? This might be complicated.
Animal friendship.
Right, needs to make a wisdom saving throw. I can do that.
The DC's a little higher, I think, than that. Maybe I'll check.
I imagine so. I don't think your wisdom is 0.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I rolled a
Your
12.
wisdom is 0.
So you tell me.
God damn it! No, sorry. Okay, 2 seconds. My wisdom is a +3, so my DC is at least 13.
So it fails. It gets affected by the effects of animal friendship.
So I place the berry in my hand, kind of just hold out my hand, looking at the bird.
It takes a while. The bird flies down, picks the berry out of your hand.
Grab him by the neck.
Oh fuck! Okay.
What the fuck?
I ain't fucking around.
My god.
Let's act as if that is a grapple. So you do an attack at advantage, because surprise.
Uh.
23
Hey!
hits. Yeah, you grab the bird by the neck. It squeaks.
I'll just bring it straight over to Eldrith and Ambrose.
What the hell's he doing? Just sort of like
I
steps
think-
away a little bit.
I think Doy just caught us supper.
Well, I mean, I don't want the bird. Do you want the bird?
He's gonna hold out the bird with
I-
his other hand, point up at the tree.
Yes, they do come from
Yes.
trees.
It was on that particular branch.
All right, seeing that they have no interest in the bird, he's gonna let it go.
What the?
Wait, hold on a second, you little you rascal.
Hey, you know what? He has no reason
Hell.
to keep it. He lets it
Actually,
go.
would if someone casted familiar, right? Would the familiar ping off magic?
It's a good question. I'm gonna have to Google that one.
Answer is
Well,
probably
let's
yes,
just-
because the familiar isn't a real creature.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it would count as, you know, just a real creature, but
No.
let's just say that let's just find out, okay? Let's just find out the DM's ruling right now. I'm casting using my last spell slot before I get it the fuck back. Detect magic. No ritual, no nothing. Doink. Get myself a starlight fragment because it's a first level spell.
Yes, it would indeed ping magical.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Told you.
there you go.
Kill it.
What school of magic, Brandon? We must know.
Whatever school of magic a conjured pet would be.
Wouldn't it be,
Understandable.
like,
Thank you.
Conjuration or something?
Go with the conjuration then, yeah. Or illusion. One of those. Right?
Or
Illusion.
I think it's I think
or illusion.
conjuration.
Yeah.
Probably.
Pretty sure it's conjuration though, because like it's not real, but it's there.
We'll go
Is
with
Yes, like-
conjuration.
Either way,
It's
you get the
Cast
idea.
Detect magic.
You get the idea that this is a creature that has been magically summoned. Yes.
Well, it's not a real bird.
What do you mean it's not real? I can clearly see it right there.
Well, yes, it's real, but it's not. He thinks for his words really quickly. A
Are you telling me
naturally
birds
occurring
aren't
bird?
real?
In my D&D game.
Birds are a government psyops. Well, it's not a naturally occurring avian. It's made of magic.
Alright, what are we being spied on? And he looks directly into the bird's eyes.
Oh Jesus!
It'll
Giving
be
it
held by the
silence.
neck. You can see it like.
Oh shit!
What are you?
Uh,
Some sort of watcher
what-
sent to keep an eye on us?
Joy, does it look any different, Glow? Or does it look like just a bird that he, yeah.
Just
Something's
it's yeah, no, it seems to just be like any standard
yellow-
bird, like with a brown feather coating. That's it.
So he's
Like
just
a
gonna
robin
poke
or
and
a
prod it a
scarecrow?
couple of different times. And go, no, it's real.
Snake, Snake.
um. So it does ping off magic, right?
Yeah,
Like it is.
You are now
like-
fully aware that this is a
Yeah.
familiar.
Well, in that case, I'm going to look into its eyes like a surveillance
Yeah,
camera.
both of us are like leaning in.
Yeah,
looking
just
at
like
it.
looking at its eye. I'm aware that you're someone's familiar, although I'm not sure whose. Believe me, it would bring you no harm, and I kind of gesture at myself, scorched and dirtied from the previous fight. And I hope you mean us no harm.
And Ambrose sort of like shuffles a little bit closer. Whoever the fuck you are watching through those little beady eyes. It just points at this little bird. It's like, if you mean us harm, then why don't you show yourself and stop being such a coward? And if you don't mean us any harm, then show
Ambrose.
yourself and we won't harm you. What?
Ambrose,
What?
we're barely in any situation to harm anyone.
They're using the birds to watch us, whoever they are.
Squeak!
The bird, I
Shut
feel
up.
bad for it.
We're talking.
don't reprimand the bird.
Shut up, the humans are talking.
Oh,
Sorry, wait, we're not
oh
humans.
my god.
No, we have to discuss the idea that whoever is watching us, either they are very unfriendly and are spying on our movements, or they are friendly to us, in which case, why wouldn't they just show themselves?
Well, we're just a group, a little gaggle of strangers, dirtied and bruised, walking around in a forest known to be dangerous. Of course they'd be suspicious. I would be suspicious.
Suspicious is one thing. It's been watching us for ages, if you're to be believed. Isn't that right? And he just looks at the bird again.
just like play like not violently, but like shakes him just a little.
Squire! Oh no. I think, Doy, I think you can let the little friend go now.
No,
Let
no,
him
he's
go.
not.
Let him go
We're not
immediately.
finished with our...
Immediately lets him go.
Opens his hand, the bird flies off.
Well, there you go.
I think we could have been a bit more gentle with the thing, but I believe our message was clearly sent. Both mine and Ambrose's rather aggressive one.
Not wrong.
I'm not
No, they're
saying you're
contradicting.
wrong. I'm just saying it was, yes, contradicting, Doy, and possibly very aggressive. Definitely
No, I'm
very
just saying
aggressive.
if they're a friend to us, then they can show themselves.
I mean, would you show yourself to a group of strangers in the woods? That's bloody, bruised, and dirty?
Perhaps.
Maybe your judgment's a bit more unique compared to normal people then. Notes it down.
He just called you special.
Sometimes strangers in the woods are the most interesting people, you know?
Oh, that is almost always true.
That I can't deny. Interesting, rather safe or unsafe is yet to be seen. I hope whoever's familiar that was doesn't deem us dangerous now, thanks to your little threat.
It's not like I blasted the bird out of the sky.
Well, you didn't, but you did verbally threaten whoever that was, and Doy did grab that thing as if it was going to break its neck. Were you going to harm the bird, Doy?
No.
I'm sure he meant to merely intimidate the bird.
I think that was achieved. And he goes back to his little post, or like his spot, and starts
well,
staring up
back
at
to-
the sky again.
Back to birdwatch, I suppose, and sits back down again as well. But now
Well,
instead of like
yeah, it
fiddling
was-
with his viol, is also now like keeping his eyes on like the branches around.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say I was specifically looking for birds, but yeah, bird watching.
Well, I bloody am now.
All right.
A griffin goes flying by.
For the remainder of your watch, there's no birds in sight. That's also suspicious. Not a single
Yeah.
bird. Hard to believe.
We're in the forest.
What happened to all the birds?
Ah, now they've
What do the stars tell
overcompensated
me?
by hiding all of the birds.
If the forest turns silent, that's a very bad sign. It means there's an
That
apex
is a terrible
predator
sign.
nearby.
Yeah, boof.
All I'm saying, if birds are real, where the fuck are they?
Griffin!
Right.
Brandon, what do the stars tell me?
Yeah.
Bet you're gonna die, boy.
Oh shit!
Alright, so, the rest of the watch, like I said, goes without problem. You wake up Syldia for her watch, unless there's anything else you'd like to do.
I don't think there is.
Very well.
I think I'm good.
Then
Rose is
Sylvia?
gonna take his viol case and go around the back of a tree and just sort of lean against the tree and snooze off.
Lovely. Syldia, you are awoken, and you may do your perception check if you wish.
Yippee. I do wish. Oh boy, is my perception Gucci.
Cash money.
Okay, I rolled the 10.
Nice.
So during your watch, as you're sat down,
Kill the bird.
you, for the first 30 minutes, nothing. But after 30 minutes, this bird with brown feathers lands on a branch nearby. You think nothing of it. And then 30 minutes pass and it's still there, just staring at you. Now you're suspicious.
The bloody thing's back!
And the previous watchers told me nothing of this, correct? I heard no speak, so
I would assume I didn't tell you just because to him it's done and dusted. We dealt with it. So yeah, you heard fucking nothing about it.
okay. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have a
Ambrose
staring
probably
contest with the
told me.
bird for 10 minutes.
The bird does not blink for 10 minutes. It just stares at you.
My God.
Alright, I'm gonna use Arcane Sight to do a little detect magic maneuver.
You detect that this is a magical creature. That it is a familiar of sorts.
Okay. Syldia slowly gets out a javelin.
Let's go.
My God.
Have I not added javelin action? Fuck! I haven't added javelin action. No! It's fine. I'm still gonna yeet a javelin at this bird.
Lords.
Roll to attack.
I'm just gonna. This isn't my javelin attack, but I'm just gonna roll this because it's the same modifier.
21 would hit.
Okay, and the damage for javelins is 1d6.
Yeah.
1d6 plus 4. Methinks.
The javelin flies straight past, hits the creature, pins the bird to the wall, and then just blows up into a cloud of feathers.
I will retrieve my javelin and continue my watch.
Interestingly enough, for the rest of your watch, no bird appears.
Curious. I wonder why.
Whoever's familiar that is, it's just like, my spell components!
Oh,
my money!
My feathers!
Alright, yeah, for the rest of the watch, nothing happens. Eventually, dawn breaks, although very poorly. As I mentioned, the clouds wavered over and the grey skies do reign supreme, shall we say now. You do notice as the morning comes around that little droplets begin to fall. Nothing too heavy at the moment, but some of you are awoken by little bits of cold water hitting your face, and the smell of kind of wet grass and mud begins to fill the air.
Delicious.
That's kind of nice after being watched yesterday.
True.
There was a strange magical creature watching us when
Magical
I was
creature.
awake. Yes, it was
Oh,
some sort of summoned beast. I dealt with it though.
it came back.
Oh, it was. You saw it as well?
I just assumed that it just left.
And
Well,
dusting
it's-
himself
our,
off a little bit from the floor, like, yes, we assumed it was no threat, so, we left it be.
Yes, we had a
Well,
little conversation with it, and Ambrose was quite aggressive.
I had words.
You interrogated a bird?
well,
Yes.
I wouldn't say we interrogated it. I just told it that we were of no threat, and then Ambrose threatened it.
No, I didn't threaten it. I was speaking to whoever was seeing through the bird.
Well, you threatened the person through the bird.
No, I told them if they were a threat, then come at us. And if they weren't a threat, then come see us.
well,
So
I
somebody-
assumed it was malevolent, so I threw a javelin and killed it.
Eldrith and Ambrose, you look to the
Ambrose
tree.
raises his eyebrows.
You both instinctually look at where the bird was perched when you guys were there, and you just see a hole in the tree from where the javelin was pierced in.
Oh,
Well,
I wasn't aware that you were aware of its presence, so I just dealt with it.
I just hope this doesn't land us in any terrible situations.
Well, people shouldn't be eavesdropping.
Exactly.
True. Honestly.
Especially in these awful woods. I prefer to keep my guard up.
Very well. You may all regain the benefits of a long rest.
Yay!
And for the next 6 hours, roughly or so, you will be journeying towards Millwood. I am
You
assuming
need a survival.
that, well, it depends. Did Celwydd look at the stars to know what direction or no? before going to bed?
I would have been like looking up at the sky before falling asleep. I think that's just a habit that I would have. If I can see the sky, then I would probably be looking up at it before I fall asleep.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you.
So
If
as
you-
long as I can remember.
What do you think? Would Celwydd remember?
Well, if it's a special magic-y thing that I have, I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah. Very well. Then with Celwydd's kind of pointing in the direction of Millwood, you may roll your survival check with advantage as you wade through the forest. 10.
Oh,
The journeying
on
through
guard.
the shallows of the crept woods takes slightly longer than you would imagine. The rain and the downpour makes it difficult. The vines and the tree roots that are uplifted from the ground cause a bit of mire. Some of you get caught in them, maybe some of you trip. Maybe some of you step in a puddle that seems a lot more shallow than you'd imagine and fall like your entire leg's length into the pool of water and needed to help to like be pulled out from it. But after an extensive 8 hours of traveling from the early morning that you had, in the distant horizon, you see a comforting view. So you guys, let me turn off the grid, arrive at Millwood. Let me take you to the
Take us to
coziest
Millwood.
town to ever exist.
Yeah, man. Definitely not because, this looks so nice. Who's been killing people here?
What's this
It's so
Stardew
nice.
Valley
Who's been
OST, bro?
killing?
Wait, is that a little rat on a stump over there?
That is a rat.
Weasel.
Look at it, little goober. I'm gonna kill it.
Alright.
What the fuck?
Breaking through the tree line, the skyline I wish I could say is as nice and blue as you see it here, but not quite. It is instead grey. But as you guys break through the crept woods and finally leave it behind and begin walking through the large plotted farms, you eventually in the distance manage to see a town. And you guys arrive at the town of Millwood. The scent of blooming flowers and freshly cut grass isn't dampened by the continual rainfall. Instead, it almost heightens its potency. Every breath you take feels like a detox of your lungs. The muddy track road curls and weaves between farming plots and homes, which all seem cozy and welcoming. The classic brown clay tile rooftops and white coat finish to heavy blocks of smooth stone for walls reinforced with perfectly crafted wooden beams and pillars to support them. However, Millwood's most notable aspect is its numerous windmills, dotted at every acre of this quaint village. Perhaps where it gets its name from. The windmills are tall, rustic, and old, yet somehow well kept. They are covered in vines and grass that begun to overgrow on the rooftops of some homes and almost coils around each windmill, like an extra coat of protection from the weather. The sound of turning mills, bleating sheep, and muddy footsteps fills your ears alongside the downpour of the rain. At the center of this welcoming atmosphere is a river that divides the town in two, with plenty of bridges to close the gap. The water is used smartly here to turn mills and used for excessive work that otherwise beasts of burden would have to take care of. The small river splits off into a couple of different ends, each leading to small pools with reeds and foxtails growing at the shorelines.
Oh, this place sounds amazing.
From here,
This place sounds peaceful.
from here,
That's nice.
what you do manage to notice as you guys take in these nice deep breaths of this cool and refreshing air, the most notable building amongst this nice village is a much larger than all the others. It appears to be a large inn. However, oddly enough, it's built over a stone bridge with running water under it. Yet more interestingly that, it seems to be built around or into a large windmill. It's a very peculiar building. but many people can be seen walking in and out of it, seeking shelter from the rain. And even from here, those of you perceptive enough can see through the warped glass windows, revealing a warm orange interior, patrons enjoying beverages and ales. This place must be one of the few original halfling villages that still remain in Kelmont. So yeah, as you guys arrive,
Well,
what do you do?
As we're
Well,
like
I'll be-
entering here, are we soaking wet from the ambience that we did in
Oh
the
yes!
rain? Oh my
we
god.
can only assume.
That place looks warm and dry. Shall we head in for a minute?
Ambrose is like standing there with his eyes closed, like looking up at the sky and sort of like enjoying the rain on him. Just completely drenched.
Are you part plant, Ambrose?
Oh no, it's just, it feels very nice on the skin. Oh, better than being burnt to a crisp in the sun all day.
I just get the image that he like flicks his hair back like one of the L'Oreal commercials. Like, oh.
I imagine I'm just like starting to struggle because my dress is super heavy because it's just soaking wet now. Plus it's like half burned.
Oh,
I'm in a state.
Let's go get some shelter.
that would be preferable.
Yeah. And out of character, we're here on the... Was it Pierce's idea to come here? Whose idea was it to come here? Or was it like our collective idea
I think
to
it
come
was. It was a collective because you guys were like, "Oh, we could stop up
Yeah.
at Millwood, do a job, and then come back." I think.
Yeah.
here? Yeah. Because the job was on the board, wasn't it?
I think you have it in your
think-
handouts in the adventuring journal I
Yeah,
made for you
yeah.
guys.
It's the fourth now,
Okay.
Brennan.
Yeah, another day has
Well,
passed,
we
so it
can-
is the 4th. Yes.
Okay, good.
We can see what's going on when we head inside, see if anyone's in there for a chat.
Very well. Okay. Just fixing audio levels. Okay. You guys trudge through the muddy paths, and you see possible farmers trying to do their best to complete their work through the conditions as best as possible. Stepping in muddy pools, and reflections of yourselves ripple in the waters of the river nearby. You walk up to the large inn-styled building that's built on top of a stone bridge within the concepts of a windmill. Very odd yet intriguing place. You walk over the stone bridge to get to the entryway. In the warped windows, already glaring some warmth. The doors are some sort of oak or mahogany, perhaps. You open the door, and you're welcomed with the inside of a warm, almost Shire-like tavern. Looking up to the ceiling, you can see polished, very well kept and covered in resin, beams of wood supporting the ceiling here. The inside has kind of an open plan that lets you see into the skeletal structure of the windmill. You can see bread being made there, mauled from its grain imported from the very fields that you saw on the way in, eventually toasted in the bakery at the back, and then served to customers alongside what seems to be a pint of some sort of ale. The scents here are warm, sweet, and, well, much like a bakery. Everyone is sat down enjoying their own company, although from the recent news you know that there has been murders here. People are still trying their best to keep a smile on their faces, but you can see, those of you who are more insightful, some lingering worries. At the bar, speaking to a gentleman, or a couple of other patrons, you see a woman with faded, pinkish skin, who is a tiefling, with ivory white horns that curl around her mane of messy, curly hair. I have an image for you.
Let's go.
Aimee.
You
Hey,
said this
yo.
is a halfling village.
Yeah.
Is it mostly halflings that live here, or is it like pretty varied now?
As you guys were walking around, it seems much more varied. She has a patch of rosy red skin over her cheeks and nose ridge, which seems almost like a natural blush. Freckles also adorn her face. Her golden amber eyes, shadowed by some black eyeshadow and eyeliner, create a more husky tone to her otherwise comforting aesthetic. Her pointy ears can barely be seen behind her hair, and have golden earrings and piercings coming from tip to the base. She wears a brown leather corset and an open white shirt, and seems to be conversing with her patrons.
Well, I suppose we should approach and perhaps not start immediately with talk of murder.
What's the deal with all the murders?
So,
What's the deal with airline food?
deaths around here, am I right?
Millwood,
No.
more like Murderwood, am I right?
Are they like in the middle of a
Like
conversation?
Just casual transaction. Doesn't seem to be a proper conversation, just a casual transaction as she gives him ale.
It wouldn't be inappropriate to go up and be like, "Hello."
No.
I guess we can approach then.
Are you leading this one?
I suppose if nobody else feels like doing it.
can have the 10-foot tall fucking absolute fucking murder looking dude go ahead if you want.
Eldrith is just taking everything in.
Is this place big enough for me to even walk in running?
Yes,
Anything in the building.
luckily, I mean, the door was a tight squeeze, but luckily once you're inside, no, like I said, it's open plan, and it uses the windmill as like its skeleton structure, so it's actually really tall in here.
Let's go.
Rose finally got some headroom.
Oh, finally.
Well, I guess Ambrose will like sort of glance at Celwydd and nudge his head towards the bar, and then if she doesn't want to take point, he'll take point.
I guess I could go up. Is there like a chair or something next to them where I can sit?
There's stools lined against the
Yeah.
bar.
I'll pull out a stool and sit there. Well met, friends.
She looks in your direction. Hello, Sugar. Is
we've-
there anything I can do for you?
Yeah, we've just arrived. We just came through the Crepwoods, and as you can see, I gestured to myself. We are soaking wet and in need of a comfortable room if you have any.
She looks at you and then the group of individuals you have with you that are all absolutely soaked. She smiles. I'm sure we got a room in the back, perhaps. There's quite a lot of you, but the big guy might have to sleep in the barn.
I'm sure he'll find that comfortable. I glance over at him.
You say you travel from the Crept Woods?
We came through just last night.
So adventurers, I'm guessing. She begins polishing a tankard.
You could say that, yes.
Well, we do have need of those around here at the moment.
Oh, anything in particular? Kind of urge her on.
She kind of glances at you and the others. She leans in slightly and her husky voice kind of quiets down just to make sure that no one else hears. Well, if you haven't heard, there's been a lot of murders popping up around here recently. And it's not exactly like that's a normal thing around here.
Yes, I am quite shocked to hear that. It's such a lovely place here.
You can see kind of like a comfort in her face. Yeah, it's been home since I was born. It's almost like a little village away from all the madness.
But when did all of this start?
couple of weeks ago, perhaps. Maybe 2, 3.
And no leads?
All of them roam cold. Lead all to some sort of eviscerated and mangled body. And no traces to follow. Initially we thought maybe it was the wargs or the wolves from the woods feeling confident enough to come in. But after posting our dozen or so soldiers that we have here, they didn't see anything. Whatever is murdering these guys is happening on the inside. At least that's what I like to think.
Well, we'd be happy to help you. I'm sure we can take on an inside job.
Thank you, Sugar. I'll be making sure that if you do manage, you can keep a room here for free for a while. I think there's already rewards for the people that can solve it, but I thought I'd throw mine in too. If you are looking to help, you might want to go and find a man by the name of Wade. Wade Mawson. He's the leader of the small squire of soldiers we have here. He's leading the investigation.
Okay, that sounds like a good place to start.
My name's Variel, by the way.
Oh, pleasure to meet you. I'm Kel.
Pleasure to meet you, Kel. Must be a lucky name. Sounds like that of the precursor.
Oh, it's not spelled the same way, but yeah, I get you.
Roll me a religion check, and anyone who was close enough to hear her name being given may do the same.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm
What
so
was
good
the
at
name again?
religion.
Oh, rough.
6. Nothing.
I'm not good at religion.
10.
Religion.
Oh, there it is.
I mean,
I guess
Yoink.
Ambrose is listening pretty intently, but is he really paying attention to the names?
oh,
10 not quite, but Eldrith with a 19. When she gives the name Variel, you find an oddity. You look at this woman, you realize that she is obviously a tiefling. The name Variel stems from names that people give to angels from the Justicar's heaven. So, seems like an odd juxtaposition to call a tiefling the name of a celestial being. Nothing else, just intriguing.
Okay.
Well, she looks at the rest of the party. Well, if you'd like to stay the night, I can keep a room warm for the rest of you. You'll have to bunk up in 3s. And
That'll
looks
be
to
fine.
you, Hjarlgron. And I'm sorry, Sugar. You're gonna have to wait outside. The barn will be
That's
kept warm for
fine.
you, though.
no need. Just as long as I can have at least something to eat before I go outside.
Oh, food we can do.
Kind of reach into his like. To him, it's a pouch. To everyone else, it's about the size of a bag. He just reaches in, and just like fishes out whatever money he's got in there. Puts it down. He doesn't know what money is. He just throws it down.
Very well. She... well, how much money are you throwing down?
You know what? Let me do a. $11 gold.
Oh. She looks at
I,
it.
Oh my God.
I don't have the concept of money,
She looks at it,
so
looks at you, takes one of the pieces of gold, hands you the other 10 back. You don't need to give me that much.
don't really know how much that is. Just kind of like one by one, with my meaty finger into my hand.
She laughs, looks to the rest of you. You guys should make sure to keep an eye on his gold. You don't want to keep him going around giving people loads of gold for no reason.
After hearing that, I look around at the party and I just give it to like the most sensible looking one. Just go to Eldrith and I just put it in his hand.
He's his
So there's 10
accountant
gold.
now.
Are you
You've got-
in? Are you entrusting this to me?
I have no use. You've been given 10 gold.
Thank you, Hjarlgron. I'll be sure to keep it safe for all of us.
Well, how much
Okay.
for dinner for all of us?
Including the room?
Yes.
Well, the rooms are only 2 silver each, and the big guy basically already paid for majority of that. So, put in 2 gold. I'll serve you a table, some warm food, freshly baked bread, and you guys have your rooms tonight as well.
Perfect. I'll slide 2 gold over.
Takes it happily. Oh, and just be sure she turns around and starts, making your food and drinks. She turns and says, "Oh, and she says this with a kind of sort of playful smile. She says, "Oh, and keep away from the edge of the rivers and the pools of water. Some say that there's sprites that like dancing around there. Be careful."
Really? Well,
Sprites.
thanks for the heads up.
I have no idea what sprites are.
Wouldn't catch me down there anyway.
But they sound dangerous to him, Brennan. I'm gonna go have a look.
Right now?
Immediately.
I'm waiting for the food first.
Okay.
I've not. Hjarlgron's not got his protein intake for the day.
Variel turns her away and, with the rest of his staff, begins getting you the ales and your food, and you guys can find a table and sit down.
Is there like a fireplace at all?
There's
Or-
2 hearths, yeah. There's one
Yeah.
on the leftmost side and one on the rightmost side.
You gotta hog the best hearth, right?
Yeah, pick a nice table that's by the nice warm hearth, maybe
Yeah.
on the right side.
Easy
The
enough.
best one.
You pick one that's by these circular warped windows that looks out onto the large worked fields and the waning river that slips in between the different houses with several bridges crossing it.
It's hard to think that there's been murders here, huh?
Yeah. Have any of you ever solved a murder before?
He thinks back to the time that he found the cat that killed a bird. I suppose.
Really?
If you count cats as murderers and birds as victims.
Oh. It's better than nothing?
I may have something to add to this.
Oh?
Well, I'm practically a crack investigator right now, so.
You would not believe the amount of people I've murdered.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna say I'm practically
I'm a
a
murderer
bona fide
myself.
murderer.
This is what I would do.
I am in the mind of the enemy.
Huh.
Well, over the years, you get to see a few things, hear a few things when you're in the tale, the realm of sharing stories, and occasionally get yourself involved in a couple of mysteries or two. So I've seen it all before.
Oh, well, will you be taking the lead then, Ambrose?
Of course, I know exactly where to look for such clues, and we're starting with, of course, that woman right there. And he sort of nods over towards the bar where she's gone to sort of start prepping food.
Oh, so you think
And
the
why
one
is
who
that?
reported the crime is the criminal?
No, but she is the first that brought it up, without us even asking. Completely unnecessary. And it is a little suspicious.
If you say so.
I suppose it was.
I would like to insight check.
But
Ambrose. A whole 10.
It seems like there's some element of the truth. Maybe. Perhaps.
Interesting. Maybe.
You look around at the other patrons, Syldia, and realise that they're farmers and halflings and dwarves and humans that seem to just cater to the day-to-day usual farming plots and tailoring and whatever else. And then you look at your group of individuals, armored, weaponed, with a Goliath at their back, and you think to yourself, maybe that's why she asked you guys for help.
Just maybe.
And on top of all that, if there's anyone who knows something, it's always the barkeep.
Well, okay, well, that is true. But maybe she asked us because she's concerned?
Well, of course she's concerned. It's her customers. Probably friends that she's grown up with, and people she's known as neighbors and such. So what do you think? If you were to take lead, where would you start? Because I would definitely start with her.
Well, I would
few
start with her
questions
as
here
well,
and there.
but
A little bit of watching of the old facial expressions.
I overheard Celwydd conversation with her, and I thought maybe we could start with Wade as well.
Yeah,
We could
sleep
always,
planning has
We could always ask both of them, yes. Maybe compare stories and figure out who's lying.
It might even be worth seeing where the murders took place.
all the bodies.
Exactly.
She said
Maybe
they were
sprites.
mangled and eviscerated.
I feel like it would probably be more pertinent to investigate the actual murders before the questioning begins.
How dangerous are sprites?
How dangerous are sprites?
Anyone
Do
can
any of us
make
know?
anyone can make a nature check if they wish to try and figure out what a sprite is.
Fucking dips.
And, you know, I want to see if it's anything.
Would I just
similar
know
to-
what one is?
Most people
Oh,
know what they
damn.
are.
Oh my
Oh.
god!
Well,
He's
most
just
people-
answered
your own question.
He's asking his own question.
He's
he's answering.
googling in his head,
I'm doing an Alexa.
which is ironic because no one else has a clue.
Yeah,
Doi,
he's searching his own database.
as you ask this question, you think, you ponder on it, and you come to the realization that sprites commonly are known as almost harmless fey creatures that are basically bastardized cousins of pixies, but less mischievous. They tend to hang around, they come in different elements: water, rock, fire, etc., and they hang around basins of that element. Sometimes they could be seen in the Fey realms doing really minor things, and sometimes they create even small little tiny ecosystems on within that realm. So for example, in the Feywild, next to a river, you might see kind of like a really tiny ant-sized village of mushroom huts and stuff like that.
No, he just told me in every way that they are innocent, and I still don't trust him.
Probably because they potentially lead to an open Fey portal, you know?
I hear nothing but good things. Then
All right. Right, our friends.
What kind of friends?
He just asked
The best of friends.
immediately answered.
The best of friends.
The best of friends?
I suppose he means they're harmless.
Interesting. And what type of creatures are they, little robot? Do you know?
Magic.
I might have to check them out.
Suppose they would have to do something with Fey, since they're found in nature.
Yes. Yes.
Ah, they. Maybe I could have a talk to them.
Speak to sprites.
I know the Fey language.
Suddenly he's much more interested now with the old lady. You mind if I observe? When you do, and if I'm around.
Also, Celwydd, without a check, you knew what sprites were. You've seen these before near your hometown.
Yeah, I would have imagined I just knew vaguely what they were. Yeah.
You may have even had run-ins with some of them, but They're almost like, to where you're from, they're almost just like butterflies in the sense that they're just there. They don't really cause any harm. They're just sprites.
Yeah, they're just part of the environment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But not water sprites. I wouldn't have seen
No, not
river
water
sprites, would I?
sprites, no.
Yeah, interesting.
Hjarlgron, hearing all of this conversation about sprites, does your mindset change at all?
Yeah, no, I still genuinely think they might be some fucking strong creature, so probably gonna go down eventually.
Okay.
Like I whispered to you.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, well, Theriel brings you guys your mead and ales or water or tea or whatever it is that you might have ordered. And also some freshly baked brioche and some breads, as well as cheeses and meats as well, for those of you that feeling a bit more savoury, and a clump of butter and a butter knife.
Yummy.
Well, here you go, folks. If you need anything else, you know where to find me.
Thank you very much.
I got a portion of it just vanishes into Hjarlgron's hand.
Ambrose sort of reaches across and sort of tears off the smallest, like, sort of corner of a bit of bread. Has a little nibble of it. It's alright. And then sort of pops it back down again. It's just like on the table, this sort of nibbled little sort of slice of bread. And then, if you'll excuse me, I think maybe now would be a good time if anyone wants to join me. I'm going to go and ask her a few questions.
Already?
I'll be with you, I suppose. I'm intrigued after all.
I suppose
well,
I
do
can
tag
also
along.
accompany.
Yeah, I'll come up and just because I want to hear
You know,
the
the whole
conversation.
party's just coming.
Yep.
And the
Yeah,
bread,
the
the
whole
bread
squad
arrives, you'll
rock
like rip a piece of the bread, take a clump and bite out of it, and then just like, yeah,
Piers
okay, we're good
is
to go.
coming with me as well. Again,
Show anywhere. Tell us
everyone
about the
but fucking
murders.
Toy and Hjarlgron are coming along. Okay, I guess, yeah, I will approach the bar with, like, most of my party still in fucking tow. I didn't even realize they're coming. Sort of Ambrose, as he gets to the bar, sort of leans and looks around as if to look back at everyone at the table and give them, like, a, you know, I've got this kind of look. And they're just all right there behind him, and he's like, oh.
Do I just waves?
You turn around, you also see Hjarlgron just
Alright.
leave through the front door.
Oh dear
The
God,
sprite
where's he
killer.
Jesus. Alright, well, I wasn't expecting quite as much backup, but sure.
She turns around and like does like an acting flinch, like a whoa. I just served you food. That was quick.
Yes, I was going to come up here and talk to you, but it seems like everyone else has decided the same thing. It just like smiles awkwardly.
I have that effect
This is-
on people.
Oh, okay. Didn't ask. This is quite throwing me off. So, you said that people have been getting pushed into the water, or these sprites have been playing jokes on people, and
She looks at you like puzzled. No,
did someone say be careful of sprites? Who said be careful of sprites?
it was a joke.
Of course, of course.
Oh,
I was going to say, they're very good friends, apparently.
I don't think the water sprites.
Toy enthusiastically nods.
I don't think the sprites are the things eviscerating and mangling bodies.
No, exactly my thought. I found it very strange that you decided to include that in your details. That was all. Anyway, how many people have gone missing?
4, counting the most recent one.
4. And all this in the space of
2-3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks. Any particular pattern? Were they at night? Were they at day? Evenly spaced apart? All at once?
She looks a bit like lost. I couldn't tell you. They're decently apart. No murders happened one after the other. And the bodies are found at different times. One of them was found at night, one of them was found in the morning. The other one was found midday when a farm worker went back to his barn, found the body of his wife displayed on the barn.
Oh God.
Displayed, you say?
These murders seem like they're intentionally being left in places where people can find them.
So it's intelligent.
There's certainly a message behind it then.
The question is what?
And where was the last one?
I mentioned the woman in the barn.
Well then, I suppose we should be heading there first.
So if there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Oh well, you know, as the barkeep, I think it would be your duty, dare I say, your entire hobby revolves around it, is to listen out for any of that cheeky little gossip and report any juicy little things that you hear back to us, I think.
I'll do my best. Most people just talk about how scared they are at this point, or why it's happening.
Well, still, you never know, you might find interesting details in things people say. Well, we'd best go back to our meal. I just thought it was important to just double check a few things before we got started, and everyone else seems to have also followed me across the room. Go on, back to the table, and he sort of ushers everyone.
We just didn't want to miss anything, Ambrose.
Oh, you didn't think I was going to relay it back to you as he sort of turns and carries on walking back to the table?
Well, maybe you
Don't
would have
tell
given
me.
us the shorthand.
Don't tell me you don't trust me to give you all the juicy gossip.
You're right. But we just got here, and now we're talking about murder. We couldn't help it. We were raring to go, I guess.
Known me for 4 long days and already suspecting me of missing the details. I thought we were best friends. And he's put his hand over his heart.
Oh, forgive me. I just thought eat some cheese.
Hjarlgron,
Alright, well.
who is outside,
Yeah.
you walk down to the river. Takes literally like 10 steps.
Oh, nice.
And you begin looking around for water sprites, I suppose.
Yeah, I was told we were down here, so
Yeah, you have a
look
look
for something
around.
that doesn't look like any of the people that I've seen.
You go to the shoreline, look around. Seems pretty empty. You start following it upstream, past one of these forks that leads to these pools that have like lots of reeds and foxtails like decorating the outside of it. You can roll perception or investigation. It's up to you.
Which one am I better at? Perception. It's the only one. Have something in.
14. As you reach this little pool, and you start having a look around, you see some of the reeds shuffle slightly. The foxtail plants kind of wiggle a bit.
Squint. Just looking at him.
You hear some whispering here.
Gosh, I hope this guy doesn't see us. He's huge. I think we could take him, you know. If you go for the legs, we could take down his arms, and yeah, I think we could topple this man.
The right hand goes behind the back, grabs out the bone maul, slowly brings it out, and he just says, "You can try. See how far you get."
Oh, he's heard us. Good. What do we do? Well, I don't know.
And then you see one of them get pushed out, and you see a 2 to 3 foot tall frog-like being get pushed out. He is holding what seems like a toothpick-sized stick with a little bit of flint attached to some rope at the end. He's wearing a red scarf. He's got a red and black sheen to his frog-like scale skin. And he's got some goggles strapped to his boggly eyes. And he holds this spear to his side, and you can see him trembling. And he points it towards you. You can see his legs quaking. He doesn't speak. He's just shaking with the spear pointed towards you.
I'm gonna try and put the fear of God into him. So I'm gonna crouch down, just like how dragons do. I'm gonna put my face real close to him.
Roll intimidation.
I come. Not 20, 23.
Drops the spear and runs quickly behind the reeds where he got pushed out of.
Guys, he's gonna eat us alive. We could survive this.
And then you see two more of them walk out. Let me present to you three
Let's go. I'm ready.
wonderful creatures.
Is it the Grung Gang?
The Grung Gang, indeed.
Let's go, it's the Grung Gang!
Grunge.
I love the Grung Gang.
Frog-like beings walk out from behind the reeds and grass. You see a set of 3 Grung brothers that live clearly somewhere in one of these multitudes of ponds in Millwood. They seem very excitable. You see one of them that has red and black skin, that wears a red scarf and a set of goggles atop his head. Another one that has green skin, that wears a grey scarf. And another one that has orange skin and has a dark blue scarf and seems to be carrying a 3-leaf clover, some sort of umbrella or weapon, question mark?
Fred.
Listen here, big guy. You don't want to feel the wrath of dip, dive, and dodge.
Oh my god, it's dip, dive, and dodge!
Holy
God.
That's brilliant.
Wait, which one is dip?
They're mine now.
More specifically, Dip is the red scarf with goggles, Dive is the green skin with grey scarf, and Dodge is the orange skin with a dark blue scarf that carries some sort of 3-leaf clover, sorry.
Bro, Dodge is my boy.
My guy.
I don't want to bring you the wrath of the most fearsome band of brothers going.
Just like sit down, just a thud, probably to them. It's like, ooh.
You can see them quaking.
Are you the supposed sprite folk? I've heard.
They look at each other.
Sure, yeah, that's us.
Could you be a bit more intimidating?
What do you mean? We are intimidating.
Like, just look at them. You're small. You're frogs? Frogs aren't intimidating.
He pushes his goggles.
We're grung, actually.
Oh my god, you actually hit me with that. I hate you. What?
We're grung. We're a type
I
of
don't know
fey
what-
creature.
Oh. Don't know what they are. Guessing
Mystical
frog people?
sprites of elements. We can bring down all sorts of terror upon you.
Mm-hmm. Then how come you've not done it yet?
The orange-skinned, carrying the clover, takes a step forward.
We're just giving you a second chance. You know, to apologize for threatening us.
Hearing Ryan audibly laugh at their threat.
just look at them. I don't say anything.
Right, that's it. Quickly, gang. The water chute! All three of them dip into the water, slightly lift their heads out, and start spitting water at you. It hits your knees. It feels like water. It just feels like droplets of rain hitting your toes.
I love these guys, bro.
I as a water fight would go, I'd stick my hand in and I'd just like kind of waft it towards them.
For them,
Probably
it's like a
fucking
tsunami.
Tsunami, yeah.
Oh no!
They get drowned out onto the side of the shoreline.
I'm not gonna make it.
The green frog.
I can see the tunnel. I can see the light. No, brother, don't do it. Don't walk towards it. You can still live.
I'm just watching them. Like I'm not making any move or reaction. I'm just watching them play this out.
All three of them act like they're dead. They stick their tongues out and make a noise. A couple of seconds pass. You see one of them open their eyes to see if you're still there.
I'm still looking at them.
He's still here.
He leaves it for a couple more seconds.
And I just say audibly, well, since they're dead, might as well cook them up.
They all jump to their feet. No.
That's what I thought.
We've come across a spirit miracle. We're all back to life.
Yeah, I love these things, bro.
Say, big guy. As you see their leader, which
Say.
seems to be Dip, which is the red and black skinned grung with the goggles and this red scarf, walks forward. Say, big guy. How would you like to join our gang? We could use the extra muscle.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, I'm already a part of one currently.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be as cool as ours. Plus, we'll give you a They looks to the other two grungs. We'll give you a rock, a shiny rock.
Oh my gosh.
What is gold but a shiny rock? Am I right?
You're not wrong.
Ooh.
Plus, whatever group you're with now can possibly be cooler than our group, or mightier. And with you with us, don't get me wrong, you'll have to start in the lower ranks first, obviously, but in time you will be able to be one of us.
Bro, you have to say yes. They're adorable.
Fucking son.
He's fucking dead.
Bro, you gotta say yes.
Oh man, I can't give a straight face. I can't talk. Give me a second.
He's been eviscerated by the Grungoons.
Oh,
Truly, this is their one spell, hideous laughter.
oh, super effective.
True.
He's been done in.
A rock.
No. A shiny rock.
And where is this shiny rock?
In our super secret hideout of super secret things that are super epic.
That holds one shiny rock.
I
was
just look at,
trying.
I just look at the reeds where they jumped out. There.
You think that's our super secret hideout? It wouldn't be very secretive, would it?
Check anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna check anyway.
To your surprise, it actually isn't their super secret hideout, no.
They are
Well,
face still.
That's the first surprise you both three have done.
Plus, with you at our back, we can put an end to these murders that are happening here, and we'll be crowned absolute amazing epic group of destiny, and we'll have a big room finally, and be given the honor we deserve, and we'll have a statue in the middle of the river representing us. You can see the two grung nodding along like, yes, this is exactly what's going to happen. You tell him, boss.
Well, my group is here, I think, to do said thing. You can tag along with us.
You mean you can tag along with us? Finger guns.
I love these, bro.
I can only assume you must be the leader of their group. Someone of your stature?
The real leader of this group. It's kind of a mosh pit.
A mosh pit.
The leader of these grungs looks to the other two. Modesty. A sign of a true leader, just like me, right, boys? Yeah, boss, you're right.
Well, come. We can go see the others, I suppose. And I'll put my hand out for them all to like, jump in.
Fantastic. They all start jumping on you. They jump up. Dip
Yeah, I
jumps
just, like,
onto
put
your
them on my
shoulder.
shoulders. Yeah.
He points his pointy stick with the flint at the end of it forward. Right, go!
I'll stand up as I'm walking back to the tavern. Do you know of these murders? Anything in particular? Have you seen anyone to do with them?
Oh yeah, we know a lot more than these people folk. You see, because we're so super sneaky and small, people don't really look at us like we're anything. But you see, that is actually our greatest strength. We know stuff.
And do you know who did it?
No, not yet, but we know stuff.
He just makes his way to the tavern.
Like, for example, at the darkest form of nights, before the screams of the people that die, we can see hidden in between the bushes, yellow eyes with slitted pupils.
He stops. Go on.
Large creature, much like yourself, big guy. He like taps, you feel this kind of really tiny, kind of like sticky, slimy, wet slap on your nape, much like you, big guy. But this one, I don't know, more fierce, ravenous almost. I always feels like I can see the sheen of their teeth. I'm not really sure.
Do you know if it has teeth?
I'm assuming so. I mean, the bodies look mangled.
Something of my size.
So, to be clear, what we do is we know stuff. Does it have teeth? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
They're grung, bro. They know what they know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll carry on walking to the windmill then.
Okay. The rest of you are joined as the front door of the Millwood Inn opens up and you see your Goliath friend, Hjarlgron, walk back in as you guys are finishing up your meal. And on his shoulder you see these 3 2-foot big, at most, grung on his shoulders.
Blink
I'll go
at him
to the
in
party
just
and, like, sit
surprise.
You see Dip, the one with the goggles, look around. He even puts his own hands in front of the goggles to act like binoculars, and he starts scouting the area. We've never entered this realm before, boys. We should be careful. Wary. It could be any of these guys. Yeah, you're right, boss. And they all start looking around.
Don't spy me.
All of these people look rather suspicious, my big friend. I say, we knock them all out. Between the 4 of us, it should be pretty easy.
Between the 4 of us.
I can't take this seriously. I genuinely can't. I just make my
so
way to
cute,
the party
though.
and I sit down. I'm ignoring the frogs for the moment.
Brandon,
Yeah?
before we dive back into more frog shenanigans,
Yeah.
now that I'm able to speak with the microphone, welcome, I'm home.
Hi.
Could I go to the barkeep and ask some more questions?
Sure. I'll cut to that and then come back to you guys when you're all back as a group very quickly. Sure. Before Hjarlgron walks in, you could have asked a couple of questions, so go for it.
Yeah, awesome. Because I don't think we got an answer to this. These bodies, you say, they were displayed?
Most of the time. All of them seem to be left in a place where they can be found. Plus, someone of this skill in killing definitely does it on purpose. He leaves no trails of blood or footsteps. But for some reason, he leaves the body.
Is the body cut a certain way?
She shrugs. I don't know. They all just seem the same.
What do you mean? Against the grain? Like.
Mushes of blood and flesh.
Were there any markings or messages left behind? Do you know?
None that I know of. But maybe Wade
Who could
might
we
know
ask
more.
about that?
Wade.
Wade.
He's, the leader of the small group of dozen soldiers that we have here. He's leading his own investigation.
Is he available to talk to tonight?
Most assuredly. It's only midday. I'm sure you could find him somewhere. It's only a quaint small
Somewhere.
village. It wouldn't be
He's
hard
not
to find
posted
him.
in a specific spot?
Not at the moment. He finds himself looking around, speaking to people, keeping perimeters. But like I
Good.
said, it shouldn't be hard to find him. We're only a small village.
Thank you.
She smiles and nods.
Did we get those answers earlier, by the way?
Yeah, we know about Wade, and we know that the bodies were displayed.
We know about Wade.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to know if there was any like markings that left behind, but otherwise, yeah.
As far as she's
All
aware, as
good.
someone who doesn't know much about like what the kill scenes are like, then she doesn't know.
Okay, that makes sense. But as long as there's someone we can talk to, then
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. Okay, back to funny grungs.
Anyway, fast forwarding and Hjarlgron entering and sitting back down on the table, and you'll see him sat down on his barely holding chair with three grungs that are now like tree scouting. One of them's on his shoulders, the other one's like attached to his torso, the other one's attached to his legs. They're like looking around at all possible heights of vision. So,
Just waiting for
looks
to
at
Ryan.
explain.
whispers to you in your ear, Hjarlgron.
Are these your lame party?
For God's sake, I can't. I actually can't with this. Oh. This is the party, yes.
They jump onto the table. Right. Listen here, punks. This is Dip, Dive, and Dodge. We're the leaders of this operation. And, we are finding the murderer. And we have conquered your big friend here, so you will do as we say.
I just look
gonna-
at, I just look at,
We're
I
gonna
just look
stare at the
party.
The
frogs,
top of them.
stare at the
Hjarlgron,
frogs,
like,
and then stare back at Shogun, stare back at the frogs.
Yeah, Hjarlgron's just looking at the party, just no emotion, just like the sprites.
You've been conquered by sprites?
Nope. Brought them
So you-
here.
Supposed to follow along.
Have a look
You're
back
the
at-
leader of these guys. If they don't listen to you, they're not going to listen to us.
Whoa, who said anything about leader?
So
Well, it's obvious. Look at him.
you're- So you didn't conquer our big friend here.
You're right. I used my keen sense of leadership to persuade him onto our team.
And are you Dodge?
Who's asking?
Well, it's a bit rude, isn't it? Dip, dive, and or dodge to suddenly come in and demand we do things, and I don't even know who's who.
He makes a fair point, boss. You should probably tell him.
Wise leaders often give their names first before demanding anything. So wise way to show respect.
Boss, this man seems to know what he's talking about. I say you'd copy and see what he says. Yeah, okay, you're right. I'm Dip. You can tell. You can tell it's me because of my red scarf and my shiny goggles that let me see invisible things. This is Dive, who's the green boy with the grey scarf, and the other one is Dutch, who's the orange boy with the blue scarf.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet all of you. I'm Eldrith, and he extends like a whole hand for them to shake as if they're just normal-sized human beings.
They look at it.
Hey, Pierce.
He seems to be doing some sort of forward motion with his hands. That is a trap.
Oh, do you not have a custom of shaking hands when first greeting? Or, well, on first meet?
Shaking hands? Must be some sort of human ritual, Dodge. We should be careful.
Human ritual?
No, I will not make a pact with you, devil.
This isn't a pact. It's simply greetings. Like saying hello.
Dive, he has a silver tongue. I can't resist. He starts stretching out his hand to meet yours. He brings it back with his other hand. No, I mustn't.
Well, that's fine. So Hjarlgron and dip, dive, and dodge, and he just kind of tries his best to remember who's who. You said that you knew, or you're here to help us solve the murders, or rather, we're here to help you solve the murders.
Nods wisely. Good correction. Yes, true. Yes, I've divulged, he says proudly, as if no one's ever seen him use that word before. Information about the possible killer that you guys definitely don't have. That gives us a step ahead of you guys.
Hjarlgron just speaks to him. They mentioned there's a beast about the size of me, yellow eyes, slitted.
And then you can see them all trying to trying to shut him up. What are you doing? That's our information, man. We've got nothing to leverage and trade with them. It's okay, buddy. You'll be one of us soon. You just need to learn. He taps on your shoulder.
Hjarlgron's just in disbelief. He wanted a fight and he's come back with basically children.
How do you always end up in these situations, Ryan? It's amazing.
I actually love it. Oh, this is brilliant.
So,
and this beast, it walked on 4 legs or 2?
It was hard to tell. It was dark. But I reckon it's got to be tall enough to be on 2 legs, surely.
And it came out of the water?
No. The woods. The waters are safe. We guard those. He crosses his arms proudly.
Sure they are. Came out of the woods. Yeah, which direction would that be?
Well, it depends on which one of the knights you're asking, pal.
Let's say
Sometimes
the
it comes
most
from the
recent.
south, sometimes it comes from the west, sometimes it comes from the north.
Brilliant. There'll be tracks. And he sort of opens his hands almost victoriously.
That's what you think.
Okay.
You think these guys
Have you
leave
looked?
tracks? The soldiers would have found the tracks already. Is this guy even using his brain?
I'm not sure I like your tone. He leans in a little bit.
He starts walking, he kind of hides behind Hjarlgron's shoulder. Yeah, and what are you going to do about it, huh? Hides behind Hjarlgron.
You see, I've only had a little bit of bread for my lunch, and perhaps I'm feeling rather peckish. And he leans in a little bit and lowers his glasses down his nose.
What? I don't think we should be messing with these guys. You know, there's a lot of them. You're right. Humility is our greatest tool, after all, friends. Readjusts his scarf. Perhaps we set off on the wrong step. We should work together to reach this conclusion.
Ambrose sort of just shrugs. Well, I mean, we could work together, yes. You could give us information that you have, and we can help you. I don't know. What is it you want? A bigger pond, or?
Our dream. And they all look at each other. is to one day have our own room.
I just
Your
like
own
reach into my
room
bag,
where?
pull out a gold.
In a house.
I mean, this
We
is
don't,
a
even, we, don't
thing,
even
right?
want, we don't even want much, you know? We could live in an attic.
Would you live in a bag?
Bag? Spits on the table. What do you think of us? Filthy, low-living creatures?
Well,
We want a
a
bed
bag can be
and a
quite...
room that we can decorate.
Well, a bag can be quite spacious, especially if it's carried by our big friend here.
You're trying
And
to
it's-
keep
Yeah, I
one
think
as a pet,
I think my
Eldrith.
bag on my back is like 3 times the size of a normal bag. So, I mean, I take off my bag, I open it up.
Dive looks to
Alright,
Dip. I don't know, boss. They're offering us at least something. Maybe we should take it. Dip looks back. No,
Essentially,
I refuse.
hang
The
on,
moment
guys.
that our standards drop, it's the day that we won't get our room.
it's essentially a portable home when you think about it, and you'll have many new things coming in and out of it.
Listen
to
here,
use
wizard
as
man.
furniture.
I'm not dropping our idea for a room, okay? I'm not having no bag.
I mean, you can speak to that tiefling though. They run this place.
It's true.
Give them
I've got
this,
an
and I
idea.
like hand them a gold.
I pull Celwydd aside.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we get in a room for solving this matter, right?
Apparently, if we solve the murder, we get a free stay for an undisclosed amount of time. But we've
Not gonna
already
lie.
paid for a room for now.
That's good. But these guys are going to be helpful, and I'm going to look at them goofing off on the table.
Helpful. I raise an eyebrow.
You'd be surprised what little guys can get up to.
We could give them a chance. They've got the
We'll give them a
spirit.
chance. We might be able to rope them on board if we let them into our room that we get.
I suppose it
We might
can't
be able to
much
get
harm.
them. Can't be too much harm. That we might be able to boss around isn't the right word. Tell them what to do. Sort of
Yeah.
wrangle still isn't the right word. I haven't got a word for this.
As long as we can get them playing along with us and everybody working together, hopefully this will go well.
Yeah. Hey, you're kind of the main. Go tell them.
All right, I'll approach them and like lay my hands on the tables. We have a proposition for you.
We're listening.
You cooperate and you participate in our plans cohesively, and you get to stay in our rented room with us.
I'm going to converse with my brothers. Just-
And they do like a group huddle.
yeah, they huddle up.
Rugby huddle.
All right, listen here, guys. They're willing to offer us a room, but it is shared with them. Well, I don't know, boss. Maybe it's a good idea. I mean, it's the best room we're gonna get for a while. Now, I think we can push them just a bit more. I think if we give them our expertise, and we succeed in this mission, we get them to give us a room forever. Yes, that's a good idea, boss. He turns around. We've discussed.
Why, that
Yes.
was quick.
We shall help you. Under the condition that upon completion of this objective, we will be granted a permanent place of residence.
Ambrose just, yeah, it's done.
Ah,
And I extend my hand for a handshake.
it's one of those pacts again, but this time we've made a pact. Okay. His hand shakes towards yours and has the smallest handshake in the world. Dodge.
I'll change it to like, I'll extend my pinky, like my pinky finger. Looks like a pinky promise.
They shake it. Dodge looks to their leader, Dip. You've done a pact, boss. Do you feel any different?
I do. I feel like almost power is surging through me.
I can feel the devil's pact already. Boys, when you...
Celwydd is just... You've just
Can
become
I,
their
can I
pinky.
cast?
my
Brandon,
God.
can I cast dancing lights behind each of them?
Oh my god.
Oh.
They look at the lights. What? The devils are already coming for me. Boys, please go to heaven. We'll have to be in the pits of hell.
I love these guys.
And remember, and Ambrose is going to lean in again, if you violate such a pact and you betray the terms, you will explode.
Explode.
Roll
Explode.
perception.
Skadoosh.
I believe.
Oh, let me roll insight. How insightful is my boy?
Roll that one, baby.
Do not be fooled, Dip.
Oh. I also rolled the 10, but I have a modifier of -3, so have that, bitch.
Holy shit,
That's
no!
a 7.
No.
He looks at you.
I think he's telling the truth, boss.
All right. Okay. It's okay. I mean, me and my brothers here, we play fair. We ain't gonna double-cross you or nothing. Plus, why would we do that? It's within our own benefit to be able to try and get a room.
Oh, just don't skimp on the details.
We won't. Promise. They sit down. You hear like a spludge. So what we doing then?
Are we going to speak to this Wade first?
Oh, Wade. Saw him down by the river earlier.
Oh.
And do you know much about him?
He's a soldier. He leads the other soldiers. He likes walking around a whole bunch.
Well, apparently he's leading the investigation.
That makes sense. He does always seem to be where the murders are investigating them, so that would make sense.
Can we find him there now? Is he by the river?
He should be.
Would you like to lead us there?
Or leadership. Yes, I will lead you there as a leader.
Please do.
All right, friendos, newly acquired Grungang members. They jump onto Hjarlgron's shoulders. All right, giant, onwards, out through the door.
Driving.
I wasn't aware we were vitiated.
It was part of the pact, signed in devil blood.
And then I'll say,
It was
does this mean I
Of
get that
course.
shiny rock?
As soon as we come across the persecutor and we dispatch of him, you will have your shiny rock.
Fine. Stands up
My
and
God.
walks out.
We're all following.
Of course.
I'm curious. Man, I'm curious what the shiny rock is. If it is just an actual shiny rock on a...
Well, what if it's actually like an enchanted little pebble, bro?
That's what I'm thinking, so I'm going along.
Yeah,
guys.
like that'd be so cute.
All right. He leads you guys down the river, over a couple of the wooden bridges, and eventually over to a clump of three soldiers standing in front of a farming house, who are, I suppose, scouting or looking around. Dip.
Just while we're heading on the way, how sturdy are these wooden bridges?
Yeah, they're really well built here. Very strong.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Perfectly fine to walk over them.
Yes.
Any trolls under them?
No. Told you, the rivers are safe. You got Dip, Dive, and Dodge clearing them. Don't worry about it, bro.
Don't worry about
Alright,
it.
yeah.
They are locals.
This is where they go like crazy in fights or something.
Ambrose still stays to the center of the bridge.
Very well. You get to the other side, and like I said, there's a group of 3 soldiers kind of scouting around a specific farmstead house, either looking, scouting, or something. Dip turns to you guys and says,
That guy over there, the one with the weird hat? That's Wade.
by weird hat, he means a bowler hat.
Okay.
I
Oh,
see, I see.
Oh, that was... Okay.
But once you guys have this conversation, we're gonna hide. Wade doesn't like us.
Why is
Alright.
that?
he doesn't?
Let's just say that sometimes jars of jam and honey go missing. Am I right, boys?
Oi!
I see.
Oh.
So anyway, activate invisibility.
And they all somehow seem to just fade somewhere within Hjarlgron and somehow hide within his clothes or bags.
I mean, they could probably all fit in my backpack.
I would like to speak to Wade.
I swear to God, if those somehow give you your stupid passive perception again.
I suppose I'll be taking point on this investigation yet again. And Ambrose like cracks his fingers.
If that silver tongue of yours isn't tired.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
no.
going to give you backup on this one.
Oh, I'm so relieved, Pierce.
Alright.
I will give like a friendly wave as I approach.
Alright.
Good afternoon, morning. Is it morning or afternoon?
Afternoon at this point.
Afternoon.
Yeah.
Afternoon,
Good
morning.
afternoon, gentlemen. As we're just all standing here, like soaking.
Yeah, in the rain again.
Well, it turns around to you. Wade seems to be the leader, as mentioned a couple of times, of the small dozen or so soldiers that actually exist within this small village. He wears a long navy jacket, an overworn shirt, red tie and vest. His brown leather belt that holds a rapier to his side is worn down leather that has begun to lose its colour. He has an almost expressionless face outlined by a groomed beard and mutton chops. He's also wearing a bowler hat. He, in comparison to the rest of his soldiers, does not seem to be wearing kit to be able to fight naturally, like armour. He seems to be wearing a more casual wear.
Classic.
I'll put an image of him. There he is. Wade turns to you guys.
Huh?
You-
It's Detective Poirot.
Turns, waves. Oh. More newcomers. Exactly what we needed.
Well, Lucy, we were passing by and heard that this town had a spot of bother, and perhaps thought maybe we could lend our investigative talents to it.
You could say that, right? Bloody hell. We could use any help we can get. You lot strike me as adventurers, then.
That's
Of the
us.
sorts, I suppose.
Well, whatever you want to call yourselves, whatever. Either way, any help's needed, and I'm more than happy to take it. Name's Wade. Wade Mawson, and he puts out his hand to meet whoever's. I suppose Ambrose, you're leading the conversation, so.
Yeah. Ambrose also holds out a hand and just says, Ambrose. Just Ambrose.
Alright, just Ambrose.
Don't hit me with that joke, I swear.
He just did.
He looks so done after hearing that joke enough times.
I'm assuming you managed to pick up one of the leaflets that, or should I say, quest posts that we sent over around the different cities.
Oh yes, just over in the good old oh fuck, that's the crest, yeah, the good old Crestfall guild.
Well, yeah. I was hoping that one would at least bear some semblance of hope. Well, you should know then, going into this job, before you decide to start up with me, that the town hasn't got much money, it's kind of self-sustaining, but we do have some of the people have managed to bring together some materials or potions and whatnot. If you so have it, you can probably sell them off for a bit of money.
Right, but the murders.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, I was just making sure that you're aware of what we got. Some people just turn away once they realise we've got no money to give.
Well, we're not here for that.
I'm sure whatever you give us will be enough.
Ah, bloody hell. You guys might be the nicest group of adventurers I've had the pleasure of dealing with.
Pierce is trying to smile.
Consider it an act of good faith.
I'll take it. Here's what we know. Murders have been popping up
I love it.
for the last 2 weeks. 4 of them have popped up. Most recent one was 3 days ago. Happened in that barn over there. He points across the river over one of the bridges in the distance. People seem to be keeping away from it. It's a kind of like a horse-styled barn. And he points to it in the distance. All of the bodies are seeming to be turning up in places where people are likely to find them. And I'm not sure if we're just bloody useless or complacent, but tracks aren't leading anywhere, bloodstains aren't leading anywhere. Whoever this thing or person is knows how to clean up a job, but for some reason is refusing to clean up the body. It's like he wants them people to see.
So
Sends a
you're
message.
saying? Yes, a message.
Yeah, but for what? We're bloody Millwood. We ain't got no ground in terms of political standpoints. We ain't got no force, bloody hell. I got a dozen as a force of soldiers. No offense, lads. Turns around to the 2 soldiers that are looking around.
Don't worry, boss. It's fine.
So, has there been any other activity in Millwood? Out of the normal?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's bloody abnormal. I mean, don't get me wrong, I only started working here 4 weeks ago myself.
No drama, no bad blood, neighbours squabbles.
Perhaps over who's got the biggest turnip at the end of the harvesting year, yeah.
Right.
But something like this?
Nothing. No major events have happened recently. Nobody's arrived, nobody's left.
1 second, guys. I think there might be someone at the door.
Oh dear God.
Oh shit.
It's the fucking murderer!
Yes.
It's the murderer! He's here!
It's the fucking murderer!
It's the Popo!
Sorry guys, my mum's here. Session cancelled.
There, boys. Who did it?
It was me.
Sorry, my bad.
It's 100%
Bloody
my fault.
grungs.
I'm sorry. The grungs 100% did it. You know what?
I just need
They
to keep my
poisoned
eyes
them.
out for something. What were you saying, Pierce?
You know, I'm just saying, I know it's not likely, but grungs are naturally poisonous. What if they're accidentally killing people?
Yeah, but displaying it?
Yeah, but they're.
I mean, if
they're
their
like
body's just
walled
left
up.
in town and there's no
Bodies have
blood.
been eviscerated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
true,
being
true,
eviscerated.
true.
It was poisoning,
Yeah.
I could see what you meant. Like they're poisoning the water supply by mistake.
Oh
By
no.
accidentally.
Or
just
like
being
they
there.
make a
Oh.
friend and like shake their head, or like, you know, like touch them at all and they're poisonous
Like
to the
losing
touch.
that
Celwydd, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
You shook one of their
The
hands.
only thing these like guys are
Oh,
eviscerating
dear.
is jars of jam.
I'm gonna die.
That's true. And honey.
Exactly.
Sorry, anyway,
Really
Pierce,
good
what were you
dress.
saying? You were asking a question.
These bodies in particular. You said they were left out on display, right?
Yeah, for everyone to watch.
Oh, before. No, that's right. I was saying no major events. Nobody's come or gone or reached since importance.
Nothing. Like I said, things here pretty standard, I suppose. It's almost like
Is there
a
any
quaint village in
similarities?
the middle of some chaos, so this is quite unorthodox.
So one murder took place in the barn over there.
Yep.
Barn? Where else?
The first body that we spotted is probably the sloppiest of the lot in terms of this trail. Happened just on the edge of the forest south of the town. Probably a farmer, I don't know, heading out, foraging or something. One of my soldiers, when he was doing his morning scout, looked around, saw the body. There was blood trails leading into the forest, scattered across the trees. We followed it after we put together a group, but just led to nothing.
Was this first body displayed?
But I suppose, in a way, he didn't try and conceal it. It was by the edge of the forest. He might as well just ragged it in, right? But they left it in a place where they... Unless it was a rabid animal, I don't know.
Not strung up or anything? Just by a
left,
tree?
Just left on the floor, yeah. The second murder, which luckily didn't stop the inn from being open, was displayed on a body inside the tavern. Obviously, Valeria found that on the morning that she opened up shop. Quite sad for her, actually. Not the nicest view to come up to in the morning. And then the last body was essentially put into a scarecrow under the fields. Stomach was ripped out, face was pretty much robbed out of recognition, and they put him up on a post and placed him in the middle of one of the crop fields. Okay, now I feel like I've definitely heard the door.
See, Ambrose has like pulled out his journal and is making notes. He's nodding.
Yeah, I'm using... Guys, Alchemy RPG, if you ever use it, it has this wonderful notes feature. It's great for tracking all the things that you need. Like murder!
Murder details.
We
Like murder details!
And the most recent murder was the barn. And Ambrose like tapped like this little sort of ink pen against his lip for a second and looks at it.
Brendan's not here, I don't think.
He's like hallucinating people at his door.
He's a fucking
He's getting
schizo.
bit.
He's a fucking schizo.
So yeah, guys, I murdered Brandon. Oh, no, wait.
My only task for the day that Leash wanted me to do while she was asleep before her night shift, so I couldn't get that wrong, otherwise she would have crucified me.
Okay. Mission success?
Yep, all done. Sorted. No need to worry.
Excellent.
Yippee.
Carry on.
Yeah, third one
Ambrose is
stuck to
like
be a scarecrow.
Ambrose has been making notes in his little book and sort of taps the edge of his sort of like ink blot on his lips for a second. And the fourth one was barn, correct?
That'd be the one. Each person that was murdered is completely irrelevant as well. They're not even people of importance. I mean, no offense to them, right? But they're not leaders or nobles or royals. Bloody hell, the one that we found outside was just a standard bloke working the fields for the sake of earning a couple of copper.
There's no link between any of the victims.
They're not related. They're not family friends. They're not business owners, rivals, shall we say. It's just murder for the sake of bloody murder.
Do you mind if
Do you
I have a look
names?
around the barn?
Please, I'll walk over there with you, so you'll walk and talk as you guys go over.
As for walking then,
Yeah.
there weren't any marks left on the body. Nothing carved in or
Don't think so. The bodies are just mutilated. Claw marks, bite marks, bowels split open, jugulars torn. No markings or
Interesting.
like messages written in blood or nothing.
And nothing left at the crime scene.
Nope. Man cleans up after himself.
Have
Nothing-
you perhaps seen or heard of anything? Yellow eyes, perhaps two-legged beast going out of the woods.
We've never actually laid eyes on this killer. It's yellow eyes. I mean, it could be a creature from the wilds, but bloody hell. What comes in to a small village like this, murders something, leaves no trace, and then just leaves? Normally beasts eat the carcass, don't they? He looks like rather like confused as he just looks at you guys for like a explanation.
Information?
Yes.
Yeah, so they weren't consumed at all. Just left to rot.
I mean, I don't know, he might have taken a couple of bites of flesh, I suppose, amongst the nastiness, but he's definitely not taking the body.
Has Millwood ever had any similar occurrences?
Like I said, I only arrived about 4 weeks ago myself. Got promoted over from tier. Doesn't feel like much of a promotion, but
Primtia.
it's the capital.
So he's also newly appointed, and he's an outsider. Okay. What's once we arrive at the barn, what's it looking like?
Yep, you arrive at the barn. The doors have been closed. He walks up to them, unlocks the shackles that's keeping the barn doors open, some weight behind it, and shifts the sliding barn door to the side. Opens the other one. It's just the inside of a barn, haze on the ground, beams holding up the barn itself, some like buckets and barrels and tools and stuff like that. Obviously the body's obviously been cleaned up and taken away. This is it. This is where it happened. Obviously the body's been given to the family and respectfully buried.
Can't inspect the bodies, but any obvious markings left on the walls, the floors, dried blood?
You may roll investigation.
Maybe like chipped nails
help
and all
out with
that, you
that.
know?
And then you may do
I'll help
investigation
out
with
with that.
advantage. 19.
19.
Looking around the barn as he's just generally conversing with the rest of the party, and you two take a quick minute to have a look around. On some of the beams on the left-hand side of the barn, there's like cut marks, as if something's cut through the surface of beams of wood. It's like 2 dashes across one another. And you also managed to find amongst the back of the tavern, hidden amongst some of the hay, a canine tooth.
A canine tooth.
Yeah, so one of the.
How big is
fangs. Bigger than human, but not by much. Maybe like a wolf's. Not
So
like,
you'd say
not
it
a
fit
dire
like-
wolf, but like a wolf, so maybe.
Just like a normal wolf. Okay.
Or a bear's, or anything that has fangs, I suppose.
It has fangs, yeah.
Nothing else out of the ordinary, like things that wouldn't belong in a barn.
No, everything else seems intact. Well, not intact, but not out of the way, should I say? Like nothing
Okay.
unordinary, nothing of interest.
Okay. Seems like we found something here.
He looks a bit surprised you have. Turns around. What did you find?
Well, it's nothing remarkable, but there's just a fang, a tooth here? And he just gives it a look over and then shows it to the guard.
Puts his hand out. May I?
Of course. And he just plops it on his hand, in his
Picks it
hands.
up.
So.
puts it in between his index finger and his thumb. I mean, yeah, it's like a sharp tooth, but again, doesn't that just mean this is some sort of like rabid animal?
Rabid animals just killing for the sake of killing is possible. Maybe it has some sort of disease, or maybe this is just the small tooth of something larger. I couldn't
Although
tell.
I don't know any animal that'll just kill for sport.
Unless it belongs to somebody.
Well, yeah, you're right. Someone could be sicking their mutt on someone. I mean, the only person that owns any pets around here is the farmers that use sheepdogs to herd their animals, but I don't think that's been going around murdering. He smiles and then quickly realizes, yes, probably should be making jokes about this, and his face falls.
The tooth itself, right? Is there any markings on the tooth?
No, but you can tell that it's been forcefully taken out of its mouth, so like either through impact or something along those lines.
Been punched out, for example?
Yeah, possibly.
Well, it's probably knocked out of its mouth, unless someone had the time to grab pliers and pull it out.
Ugh.
Maybe a fragment from the struggle.
Perhaps. I don't know if Dolly was strong enough to put much of a fight, but
That was their name? The victim,
yeah.
I mean.
She was the homekeeper of the farm from here. It was his wife. Nothing about that was specific or unique, shall I say. And again, I mean, no upset to the dead, obviously, but I'm just speaking.
The victims. I heard all of them were... All of the locations of these were all random, different times of the day. Do the victims have anything similar to them? Race, age, height?
You had 2 humans, an elf, and a dwarf.
Dwarf. So...
As far as I'm aware, there's not exactly any intricate connection between them.
And they were all of varying ages?
Yep, Dolly here was... I don't know. Don't want to overshoot, but perhaps late 20s. And the others were ranging on any ages. Dwarf was a bit old. Elf was middle-aged. The other human was a bit on the younger side. Like I said, anything that actually connects these lot is just murder for the sake of pissing murder.
I have a suspicion, guys. Hey, I'm gonna ask this guy. So, do you have a town map?
No.
Okay.
Town's too small. I don't think anyone's bothered making a map. You can see from one end to the other if you just stand outside.
So, the 4th murder happened here.
That's right.
I'm gonna step outside. Can I get to a spot where I can see all 4 points so far?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, the one that was next to the woods would be hidden behind, buildings and stuff. You wouldn't be able to see directly at it. And it's a bit hilly and, the terrain isn't exactly flat.
Is the edge of the town, is it pressed up against this forest?
Give or take a couple of, 10, 15, 20 feet. The forest doesn't end, at the line. There's a bit of a buffer window in between.
Okay.
There's no walls of this city. I mean, this town is literally, open. There's no walls or fences or anything.
From these 4 points, this is just spitballing. Could I draw a star with these?
No, it'd look more like a square that's really open on one end. I don't know if that's got a name. I don't know.
Okay.
Sure, well, that works. Sure.
Okay, but isn't it like none of the connecting points are evenly spaced?
No, it doesn't seem
Okay,
to be
okay.
triangulating anything. No.
Okay, that was my guess.
So yeah, don't know.
Would it
Should
be
we
possible
investigate
for
the
us
other
to
scenes?
see the other crime scenes, please? Or have they been cleaned up, understandably so?
The one in the tavern's obviously been swept up. The outskirts on the forest, that was the first one pretty much. There's not really much left. But you can go to the outskirts if you want. And in terms of the scarecrow and the crops, obviously that got put away real quick. It's not like a farmer wants to do his farming with a...
The corpse on its doorstep.
Yeah.
Actually, before we leave, there's nothing else in the barn? No scuffs? Or like,
The scarf, the
indicator
two
of...
claw bite or cut marks that are on the beams on the side of the barn, perhaps, but other than that, no.
You don't want to do any detect magic, do you?
I mean, if there would be magical...
I mean,
Sure, man. Let's just do detect magic.
spitball.
Okay. You take a while, and when aura appears, kind of like buffers out from you. There's nothing magical that pings up in here.
I was hoping that tooth would.
Yeah, but like, if it was, probably would have been very obvious with runic markings or something on it.
Very true.
This is just some good old-fashioned straight killing. No magic.
The bodies of these people that are coming up dead. Are they missing organs specifically?
He kind of ponders and gives it a second. Maybe. Perhaps. Don't know.
They weren't cut in certain ways.
That's not the point I'm getting at. There are certain creatures which preferred certain organs.
Oh,
Livers, hearts.
was there? Oh, right. Well, couldn't say. I didn't really put my hand in the bodies. Don't know.
What kind of creatures?
More specifically, it's to be creatures of the moon. Those that transform.
Werewolves.
You're not surely suggesting a werewolf.
No, it doesn't have to be a werewolf. Werebear, were-tiger.
Rat?
Exactly. Could be
That's
any
not a rat tooth,
were-
is it?
It's canine.
Can I have a look at the tooth?
Yeah, sure. I was about to ask you, but
Yeah.
Hjarlgron?
Yeah, I'll have a look over the tooth.
You can do a nature check to see what you pull from it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Good at nature, apparently. But...
You've been
Yeah,
bitten
that's
by
funny,
this
bro.
before.
Four.
Damn.
It just looks like any other fang slash canine slash sharp tooth or whatever. Could belong to a wolf, could belong to a bear, could belong to a fucking warg.
Wait a second. I have warg teeth. Can I compare it to the warg teeth?
Okay, like a warg tooth. A warg tooth is much more serrated, so it could not possibly be a warg tooth.
Well, it's not a warg for
Ooh.
sure.
Plus, aren't
We should visit.
I could be wrong, but aren't like were creatures not nice, but aren't they like part of the that brotherhood thingy? Seekers, aren't they normally on the good guys' side?
Who knows? Something could have happened. lost their mind. Might
Where's
not even be a part of the
where's
Seekers.
the
Could just
calendar?
be rabid.
Right. Yeah. I guess.
I don't even know who these Seekers are, though, to be fair.
Monster hunters, essentially.
Type of thing.
3 days ago.
Some things in common, I suppose.
What are you saying, Pierce?
I was just thinking back in the last like full moon, but that was on the 29th.
Yeah, you also have enough in-game knowledge to know that it doesn't require a full moon to transform into a werewolf.
Oh, okay.
In my world, if you have,
Fair
if
enough.
you're inflicted by the condition, or if you've been blessed as part of the Seeker's Rite, you can just conjure it upon yourself. The only difference is on a full
Okay,
moon, it might take over by force. So, like, if you can hold it, normally you can hold it back, but normally on a full moon, it might just take over naturally instead.
Okay.
How many days apart are these murders? Are they like one after another?
No, he's said that they're never one after the other. Like, there's never a consequential on, like, each day. It's just, like, one will happen, then maybe, like, 4 days will pass, and then another one will happen, then maybe 5 or 6 or whatever.
When
Or
did
less.
Dolly last depart?
3 days.
3 days ago was the last murder, Dolly.
Okay. So, good chance murder soon.
Perhaps we can like keep our eyes
I
out
will
at
be the
night.
bait.
Oh my god, what the hell? I don't think you make good.
They were all
bait.
Hey,
They were
I'm
all
s-
different
I'm gonna
races,
sleep
weren't
out
they?
in the open.
There's 2 humans, an elf, and a dwarf.
It's
So-
varied.
Okay.
So varied,
think-
but not, like, varied enough. There's still 2 humans amongst them.
No halflings in the halfling village.
I am large prey, and I'm going to be sleeping outside of the cabin anyway. So
Yeah, but wasn't even see you as a potential victim / prey.
who knows? Hey, anything that's sleeping is prey at the end of the day.
Yeah, easy mark, easy mark. And this one's a large one.
Who was talking about seekers?
He was
Wade.
Wade. He just mentioned aren't lycanthropes normally part of the Seekers, and Seekers are good guys, is basically what he said. He just seemed confused that a werewolf would be nasty.
Concept is lost to
Correct.
time.
To recollection, can they not be
Oh yeah, it can
occurring
100%.
without being seekers?
Yeah, no, it can definitely happen without being a
A
Seeker.
curse, yeah. That's what I was getting at.
It can definitely be cursed. It could just be inflicted.
Yeah.
You might have caught it from a bite off of another one. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not always a boon by any means.
Ooh, what a night to have a curse.
Well, I'm fairly sure if it was a seeker, they would be in control of their actions, and if they're as good as they pretend to be sometimes, then surely they wouldn't be doing these things.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So we can probably strike a seeker off the list unless he's ill-intentioned.
Yeah, I was going to say we could strike a were creature off the list, right?
Absolutely not.
Not yet.
There's no point to strike it off. They can still be afflicted no matter what.
Oh, really? Oh. Well, I thought all of them were good.
Only those of the Seekers, I suppose, but you can still be inflicted.
Learn
Doesn't mean
something
you're
new
part of
every
them.
day.
Oh, wait,
The
inside
seekers
this
are
man.
just a little more in control of it, I believe.
I'm inciting this man. He seems a bit too eager to try and write this off.
14. Are you inciting, like, what part of it are you inciting?
Just how he's just very brazenly trying to write off that. Oh no, it's Seekers, which are werebeasts. So we can strike that off, right?
Yeah.
Like, it seems
His like surprise of it not
Yeah.
being always seekers that are.
With a 14. Yeah, you get the gist that maybe he is playing a bit dumb.
Okay.
I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to go to the tavern running.
Okay.
I shall whisper to you. I'm gonna.
Very well.
You're taking the boys with you. Let's go. Taking the boys to the tavern.
Back.
Well, I mean, doesn't completely strike off a were creature from the list, but Stika probably wouldn't be the suspect.
Alright.
Bipedal creature with yellow eyes, shot fangs.
Certainly sounds more like a were creature to me.
Or a vampire.
Those wouldn't be around here, Pierce. Don't be silly.
Right. Well, Wade, thank you for your time. Are we saying
That message was for Ryan.
Okay, I'll just give you gold
okay.
for him. So,
Okay,
like,
okay.
Like 3 gold now, I think.
That was for Ryan. Let's go.
Very random with
We're
the
talking with the jet.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. That's a very weird thing to say.
Man was holding back food and then purchased the spoon.
Be the man who purchases the spoon. Well, Wade looks to the rest of you. Well, anything else I can try and help?
For now, do you have a list of suspects?
Not really. I mean, my initial suspects was anyone that was strong enough or wise enough to pull off these type of murders. Well, initially I thought it was a monster. Then I realised that these things are basically being displayed. So I was like, well, I can't be a monster anymore, can it? So then I thought, I must be a murderer, an actual person. Then I started thinking about who's slightly, a bit unhinged around here. And my list arrived at 0, nothing. So I looked at my soldiers. I mean, they're the only ones that can really realistically wield a weapon properly that I know of, so... kept them all in a prison for... Well, not in a prison, shall I say, but like... Kept them all under surveillance in the barracks for a couple of days. But whilst they were under surveillance, another murder happened, so that took them off the list as well.
Well, there are intelligent beasts.
For anybody... Was there anybody looking after yourself while they were barricaded?
I was with them most of the time, apart from obviously, sleeping and eating and whatnot.
Have you interrogated
Interesting.
any of the locals?
I mean, we've questioned a bunch of them, the ones that are directly related to the murderers, and a couple here and there in the tavern and whatnot, but they're all just bloody afraid, aren't they? Their entire lives, all they've known is how to make the biggest cucumber or something. And now all of a sudden they've got murders happening in their town. They're a bit shook.
Okay.
Sounds like we might have to try and predict where they might strike next and see if we can catch anybody acting suspicious.
Yeah, I think it's also a case of we need to go back to the tavern, question barkeep on like her murder that happened there, or we also need to investigate to 2 other scenes, maybe. See if there's any more animal parts that have turned up,
Yeah,
and like a
that'd be good.
claw or like any sort of if it is like a werewolf creature. What has me concerned is that it is displayed or like left where people can find it.
Yeah.
But
That's-
like we've already interrogated, there's no markings or anything.
I tell you what, I've got a bit of an idea,
They won't-
Mr. Wade.
Yeah?
Of course, to me it seems like we could always try and predict where they might strike next, or we could try and revisit crime scenes of the night and see if they have a little nostalgia trip themselves. So what I'm going to do is I suggest that we keep our eyes peeled on important locations. So while a lot of my group will be sleeping tonight, I think I will I'll probably hang around the and sort of like points over in the general direction of like the edge of the forest where the first attack was. I'll hang around that entrance to the forest and see if I can spot anything.
Well, I mean, you're putting yourselves in a bit of harm's way by yourself out in the forest at night. Surely you're basically asking for it, aren't you?
Well, could be, but I can defend myself quite well, you see.
He looks at you. Really?
No.
I mean, no offense, Lion, just...
If worst comes to worst, I can get scrappy.
Alright, well, I mean, you're a third party helping us out. I can't control you. If that's what you want to do, then go for it. But if you turn up dead, it ain't my fault. Do you want me to send a guard with you?
I wouldn't expect so. No, I think I'll be quite right, thank you.
Sure. Not even one or two?
You should probably keep your guards around the actual more important buildings of the village itself. Keep the people safe, you know. I'm just a visitor.
Alright. Looks at the rest of the party. If you're happy for him to do that, then obviously go for it. We're looking at where crime scenes were. I'll keep two of my men posted at each of the other murders. And what do we think about where you could strike next? I could always try and post up tent there.
It's always a new location, right?
So far.
Then...
What are some key points of the village? The bridge, perhaps?
Yeah. To be fair, if I stand in the middle of the bridges in the river, perhaps I can just see all of the village at once. Although it'd be dark.
That does work. Well, whatever it is, I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this soon enough, and you might get your big break from the little, shall we say, promotion you've been sent on. And, we'll get our reward, and onwards we'll all go.
Sounds like a dream. When I picked up the job to come out here, I was like, bloody hell. More money for just looking after Millwood? It'd be a fool not to.
Who sent you out this way?
Just my higher-ups from Primtier, Tiny Queen herself. Well, not exactly herself, I suppose, but on her orders. Passed down onto my lieutenant and admiral and whatnot. She got word about attacks happening in Crestfall or whatever, and she got worried, so she sent down some extra reinforcements, basically.
So he's a newcomer. The attacks have been happening since before him.
Well, he said that. I thought he said that he got here like 4 weeks previous, and the attacks were here like 2 weeks ago. That's the four attacks.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, lines up then.
Well, I hope your guards will be on their best watch tonight, and I'll see what I can do. I'm sure I can whip up a few little clues myself. I'm quite the eagle eye, you know.
That's good. Could do with that.
And then he sort of leans in a little bit. And, to be honest, I don't trust these guys not to mess up the scene even more. So
He kind of laughed and said, "Yeah, I get that. Got some of those myself."
he gives it a smile. Anyway, I'm gonna be off. Need to get a little nap in before I have myself a late night.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. I might do the same. Keep these old peelers open all night. Right, well, it was a pleasure meeting you all, and hopefully, maybe we come up with something tomorrow.
Good luck to us all.
That's the hope.
If you need anything, just ask any of my shoulders. Nice. Just ask
Shoulders?
ask any of my soldiers, and I'm sure they can point you in my direction. They tend to know where I'm at all
Yes,
times.
Lefty, there's Riley.
Then he just walks out.
And then I'm going to head to the tavern.
I think we will follow you.
On the way there, you meet Hjarlgron, who's on
What I
his
was
way back
thinking-
from the tavern. I suppose, unless you're not on the way back. You didn't mention if you were coming back on.
No, I'm not on the way
No,
back.
okay. Then you'll meet him at the tavern.
Oh, okay. Fancy seeing you here.
Oh. Yep. And I just like walk out, and I'll just go in a random direction.
All right. Okay.
Like it runs. into
then
something
I'll just sort of shrug, I guess, and I'll instead head over to the bar to talk to Variel.
L'Ariel turns to you.
I think
after...
we're all joining.
All right. Turns to you after speaking to some clients and looks over to you. Managed to find anything about what's happening? Did you find Wade?
Well, we found him, but he turned up nothing of real interest, to be honest. On the crime scene, we barely found anything whatsoever. Quite disappointing, to be honest.
Yeah. That seems to be the thing that keeps happening. All of these guys, they don't seem to be turning anything up. It's like trying to catch a
Instead,
ghost.
Yeah, exactly. So instead, the proposition is to just keep our eyes peeled on the previous scenes and try and predict, I guess, where it could happen next. But there's no pattern, so it's really impossible. The rest of my group here, they need their rest. We've been on the road for a few days, and still got some of my energy, so I'm going to spend my night over by the old barn where the most recent murder was, and just keep my eyes out. You see.
It's very risky of you, but if you think you can handle yourself.
Well, if it comes to it, I can get scrappy.
She smiles. I hope so, for your own sake.
And then he leans in. Me too.
Well, if there's anything else I can do for all of you,
Not your confidence.
then please just let me know.
Oh, of course, of course. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Famous last words. Famous last words.
Yeah. She goes to tending to some other patrons and whatever else. And as y'all settle together, back on the next to the hearth to dry off, that's where we'll leave it for today's session.
Yay.
Yippee!
Bit of investigation.
The investigators.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, have a good long rest.
Come on, guys.
Bye.
Bye.